It's Friday, March 13th. Today on Your Morning Atlantic, first-degree murder charge. A man has been arrested in Moncton in connection with the death of a woman found dead in a garbage bin. Your top news headlines just ahead.
And home ice advantage. The SMU Huskies are getting ready to host the University Cup Men's Hockey Championships, and they're hoping to go all the way. That is in our second hour.
Plus, what do you get when you combine green, glue, and glitter? St. Patrick's Day crafts, of course. East Coast Mommy's Gina Bell will join us with fun and inexpensive ideas that you can make this weekend. All that and so much more just ahead on the Friday edition of Your Morning Atlantic.
Let us be the first to say happy Friday to you. And may I say this is the last official Friday of winter.
Oh,
that's wonderful.
A round of applause.
Yay. Now, that being said, well, first of all, welcome to the show, Stephanie.
Thank you.
Stephanie's filling in today. Amanda's going to be off for about a week to have some March break fun with her family,
yes,
which we love and appreciate that. Mother Nature, it is the last official day of winter. Mother Nature's like, well, I'm going to make the most of it.
Oh, yeah. Yep, she's making the most of it. And you know what? It's going to continue into the weekend. So this system is going to start moving out, especially into the Maritime region first, making its way out of Newfoundland and Labrador a little bit later tonight. Saturday, though, we have another system making its way over. Snow and or rain returns.
Wow, it's busy time in the weather world.
Yeah, it's kind of a wet one out there, so keep that in mind when you are heading out on your early morning commute. Still seeing an icy mixture starting off the day. Colder this morning in Fredericton at -5, and same thing goes for parts of Atlantic Canada. We are seeing colder air return across the region. -3 degrees right now in Charlottetown with 0 in Halifax and Sydney. -22 degrees starting off your day in Labrador City with 12 degrees over in St. John's, Newfoundland. Still seeing the wind chill factor in early this morning for parts of Newfoundland and Labrador, with parts of Labrador still seeing a risk of frostbite early on. A special weather statement is in effect for the eastern and southeastern region of Newfoundland. We also have a winter storm warning, a wind warning, and rainfall warning in effect. For Labrador, looking at a blowing snow advisory, a winter storm warning, and a cold warning in effect. And then we also have an orange level rainfall warning in effect, just seeing a bit heavier of those totals for precipitation, as well as a snowfall warning and a winter storm warning for parts of Labrador. So here's a look at the current system we're still dealing with, still seeing an icy mixture early in the morning. We'll start to move out, especially for the Maritime region, transitioning over to a chance of flurries before becoming sunshine. Newfoundland, though, Labrador still going to deal with this system and looking at mixed precipitation still remaining in much of Newfoundland today. In terms of the wind for the Maritime region, going to be another breezy day ahead. As of right now, 35 kilometers per hour for sustained wind in Lunenburg and Yarmouth, 26 in Fredericton with 22 in Canso. Wind gusts getting up to 44 kilometers per hour in Lunenburg as well as into Yarmouth, 43 in Fredericton with 37 into Grand Manan and Charlottetown. We'll take a look at your long-range forecast just ahead. First, a look at your local news with Stephanie.
Thanks, Latavia. A 35-year-old man has been charged with first-degree murder in connection with the death of a Moncton woman whose body was found in a garbage bin. Police have charged Devlin O'Blennis with first-degree murder in the death of Melissa Price. Last month, a 39-year-old's remains were discovered in a bin near a walking trail. Investigators determined her death was a homicide. O'Blennis was arrested Wednesday and then charged. He remains in custody and will return to Moncton Court in April. A busy blood collection clinic in Halifax will remain closed today following an unexpected closure yesterday. The Bears Road Clinic shut down because of what the health authority called water-related issues, but did not provide details beyond telling CTV News they were waiting for a plumber to come to the site. In an email last night, officials confirmed the facility would remain closed today, but patient appointments would be honored at other blood collection sites within Halifax Regional Municipality, or they'll have the option of rebooking for later. Students at Acadia University abruptly walked out of classes Thursday. They were reacting to the elimination of more than 24 staff positions. The institution blames tuition freezes and international student caps for the cuts. CTV's Callum Smith reports.
It was a loud and at times tense protest put on by students. Administration invited protesters inside to respond to some of their questions, but students say the answers fell short, calling for more transparency.
I think it causes a lot of uncertainty and a lot of anxiety amongst our student body when so many people were let go so abruptly, and it's really disheartening, I feel as though, for our community.
31 positions were eliminated. The university says academic programs and teaching positions were not impacted. Students say staffing cuts impacted the Wong International Center, health promotion, and counseling staff. In a letter to students, the university says tuition freezes and declining enrollment due to recent international student caps have made it impossible to maintain our previous staffing levels.
It seems like we are second-class residents here at Arcadia.
They plan to protest today to voice their concerns.
They cause so much distress to students, and it was time for such action to be taken. I have friends who were directly affected. I myself am directly affected by some of these services being completely shut down.
He says the Wong International Center is vital to supporting international students.
How I was directly affected by this, I'm graduating now. My work permit is something that I have to apply for, and the Wong International Center office, there's immigration advising there.
Officials told international students they won't fall through the cracks.
We know difficult decisions have to be made far and near. I think where so many of us take issue is that there wasn't student consultation, there wasn't any student input.
In a statement, Acadia says the difficult decisions reflect financial realities the university needs to address to remain, quote, strong and sustainable while continuing to serve students well. But those here say the institution missed the mark. Callum Smith, CTV News, Wolfville, Nova Scotia.
Prices at the pumps were up and down depending on where you are in the Maritimes as the conflict in the Middle East continues. Starting in Nova Scotia, there was no change to the price of regular self-serve gasoline in the Halifax area. The minimum price remains at $1.62 per liter. Diesel actually went down 5.3 cents. The minimum price is now $2.11 per liter. On Prince Edward Island, the price of gas went up 2.9 cents. The minimum price is now $1.69.4 a liter. The price of diesel also increased by 5.2 cents. The minimum price is now $2.19 a liter. And in New Brunswick, the price of gas jumped by 7 cents a liter. The maximum price is now $1.63.3. And diesel actually dropped 3.5 cents. The maximum price is now $2.16.4 a liter. And lots of people, of course, paying attention to those gas prices as March break comes to an end in New Brunswick. Yes. It's about to start in Nova Scotia. Yeah. So lots of people traveling, hockey tournaments, things like that. So definitely something to keep an eye on.
Definitely, yeah. Well, something you can keep an eye on if you're a stargazer, the Hollywood kind of star. Preparations are underway for the 98th Academy Awards this Sunday. So host Conan O'Brien helped the production crew roll out the red carpet yesterday. Well, I don't know if that's helping so much as hindering.
Doesn't look very
helpful. Hey, you know what? He's a big star. This will be the second straight year the former late-night host will serve as MC for the awards. The Oscars will be handed out at 7 p.m. on Sunday. You can watch the broadcast on CTV or stream it on Crave.
It's got the look.
Now, I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm not going to watch probably a lick of it because it's on too late for my job. But that's so great because we have resources to all of the news services. We can get the highlights and share them with our viewers.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Will you watch it?
I will probably watch some highlights from it. I usually like to see just like, you know, the fashion.
Yeah.
The red carpet.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I only do.
Yes. So I'll probably watch at least the red carpet. That's my
Usually
favorite.
how it goes down is I will say, oh, I didn't really catch much, and Latavia will give me like a full red carpet rundown because she's very fashion forward and knows everything.
Yes.
So, yeah.
I'm just excited to see if this continues to be a big year for the horror genre, which I
believe
it's going to be. So very exciting.
That is exciting.
Yeah. Making history.
Yeah.
All right. Well, up next, first look at your national and international news headlines. And Latavia will have our first full look at the forecast for the weekend. First up, a live look at Halifax. Ooh, get out. It's quiet on the roads right now. Even though it's been a little slick out there with all the weird weather we had this morning, it looks like it's okay, the roundabout. Anyway, we'll be right back after this.
Good morning, Atlantic Canada, and happy Friday. The time now is 6:12. We're taking a live look at Lunenburg. -1 starting off your day. We do have a bit of flurry activity expected early in the morning, before starting to slowly clear out. So it is colder early this morning, kicking off the end of the work week. As of right now, it is -6 degrees in Fredericton, -4 starting off your day in Charlottetown, -2 degrees in Halifax, 0 in Sydney, -22 degrees in Labrador City, and 12 into St. John's, Newfoundland. A special weather statement for Saturday evening until Sunday. For the eastern and southeastern region of Newfoundland, we are expecting snowfall at near 15 centimeters. Wind gusts could get up to 60 kilometers per hour. We have a winter storm warning until tonight. Could see up to 25 centimeters of snow. A wind warning as well. Wind gusts getting up to 100 kilometers per hour overnight tonight. And a rainfall warning as well into effect until this afternoon. Could see up to 30 millimeters of precipitation. A blowing snow advisory also in effect for parts of Labrador with a winter storm warning, a cold warning, seeing that wind chill nearing -45 for western Labrador, and also an orange level rainfall warning in effect with an orange level snowfall warning and winter storm warning for Labrador. So here's a look at the current system still tracking across much of the region, starting to see it clear out for parts of New Brunswick. Other than that, though, we're still dealing with some light snowfall, ice pellets early in the morning before transitioning over to flurry activity. Still seeing a bit of mixed precipitation for parts of eastern Nova Scotia, Cape Breton Island. Newfoundland also dealing with that icy mixture starting off the day, and snow still remains for parts of Labrador. Into the afternoon, much of the same, slowly clearing out, but still remaining for parts of Prince Edward Island, eastern Nova Scotia, Cape Breton, Newfoundland, Labrador getting the brunt of this system. That takes us into tonight. We start to see this system really clear out of the Maritime region, increasing cloudiness tonight. Temperatures dropping down yet again. And another system right in behind that one, taking us into early Saturday morning. Snow and or rain returns. Temperatures warm up, though, become quite mild for your daytime highs. If you're wondering about snowfall totals, an additional 1 to 5 centimeters expected for Prince Edward Island, 1 to 15 for parts of Nova Scotia, looking at 5 to 10 centimeters for parts of Labrador. The heaviest being St. Anthony at around 30 to 45 centimeters. For our rainfall outlook, going to remain quite light and seeing around 10 to 20 millimeters of precipitation for parts of Newfoundland. So for our forecast today for New Brunswick, starting off the day with a bit of flurry activity that will clear out, leaving sunshine into the mid to late afternoon. Daytime highs ranging from -4 to 2 degrees and wind gusts of 50 kilometers per hour. Prince Edward Island starting off with some snow, transitions over to a chance of flurries into the afternoon before clearing into the late afternoon and evening. And daytime highs between -3 to -1. For Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, we are going to see periods of rain start off the day, transitioning over to snow. Also a risk of freezing rain into the afternoon. Wind gusts of 60 kilometers per hour and highs between -2 to +2. And then for the rest of Nova Scotia, daytime highs between -1 to 2 degrees. Flurries, ice pellets early in the morning, clearing out, leaving a mix of sun and cloud into the late afternoon. Wind gusts of 50. Labrador City looking at a high of -16 degrees. We are going to see flurries start off the day, clearing out, leaving mainly cloudy skies. 13 degrees for St. John's, Newfoundland, rain and or drizzle with a risk of thunderstorms, transitioning over to flurries into the afternoon and evening. So for forecast on Saturday, as I mentioned, warmer daytime highs above the freezing mark for the most part for the Maritime region. We are still dealing with snow and or rain, though. And then into Saturday afternoon still remains the same. Into the evening starts to move over to parts of Newfoundland. Still going to be dealing with that mixed precipitation, though, taking us into Sunday, dealing with a chance of flurries for parts of the Maritime region and seeing snow situated in Newfoundland. That's a look at your weather forecast. We'll throw things over to Stephanie.
Thanks, Latavia. Terrorism is suspected in both violent attacks in the U.S. yesterday, one at a synagogue in Michigan, the other at a college in Virginia. Investigators do not believe the incidents were connected. CTV's Joy Malbin has the details.
A Michigan synagogue, Temple Israel, now a crime scene after a would-be car bomber tried to ram a vehicle packed with explosives into the synagogue, housing a school and young children.
We are leading the investigation right now as a targeted act of violence against the Jewish community.
Everyone is safe. The armed suspect was in a shootout with synagogue security. After his truck crashed, he was found dead inside his burning vehicle.
This is senseless. It's senseless. We have to be better than this. This is not okay.
This comes after another attack on American soil at Old Dominion University in Virginia. The FBI say a former National Guard member killed one person, injuring two. An act of terror, says the FBI. He had served jail time for trying to help ISIS.
Prior to him conducting this act of terrorism, he shouted, stated Allah Akbar, and he was formerly a subject of an FBI investigation and material supporting terrorism.
Since the U.S. and Israeli strikes on Iran, there's been a rise of anti-Semitism sentiment. The FBI on high alert, concerned the war in Iran has come home.
Obviously, what happens around the world sometimes affects us.
Yesterday, pro-Iranian hackers claimed credit for a cyber attack on Stryker, a Michigan medical technology company. The group claimed it was retaliation for that missile attack on an Iranian school that killed children. Early military reports suggest the U.S. was likely responsible.
This is extremely alarming. We know that Iran's approach to combating the United States and Israel is through asymmetric warfare.
With the rise of violent rhetoric and Iran's new supreme leader vowing vengeance, the FBI has placed counterterrorism teams on high alert across America.
The Canadian military says for security reasons, it won't confirm reports an Iranian missile struck a base in Kuwait where Canadian troops are deployed. Prime Minister Mark Carney is now in Norway, but yesterday he was questioned about the government's silence.
Well, I mean, I'm not the only spokesperson for the government, but I'll just confirm that Canadian forces are, the members of the Canadian forces are all safe and sound. We're not engaged in offensive actions, and we will not be engaged.
Quebec media outlet La Presse reported the strike happened at the airbase in Kuwait shortly after the war began. Days later, fire and smoke were also seen near the airbase, where Canada has an operational hub. Time now for a quick break. When we return, your must-see moment from our colleagues at TSN. Your Morning Atlantic will be right back.
Move Mornings with Aaron and Peter. Weekday mornings on Move 100. The most fun in the morning. And home of the $1,000 minute. Only on Move 100 Halifax.
Clock just turned 6:23, so it's time to check in with our friends at TSN Sports Center for today's must-see moment.
Hello there, Kara Wagland in the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Thursday. And for it, we go to Canadian Shai Gilgeous-Alexander making history. Thunder take on the Celtics. SGA sitting on 19 points. He hits the long jumper for his 127th consecutive game, scoring at least 20 points, passing Wilt Chamberlain's record that had stood for over 63 years. Shai's current streak started all the way back on November 1st, 2024. An unbelievable moment for the Hamilton, Ontario native. He is your must-see moment from Thursday. And coming up tonight, we got the Raptors back in action. They're trying to snap that 2-game slide they're on hosting the Phoenix Suns. Coverage gets underway at 7 p.m. Eastern time. That's all for now from Sports Center. Have a great day.
This TSN must-see moment brought to you by J.R. Rahe's Furniture and Appliances.
Now time for your business headlines from our colleagues over at BNN.
We imported far more than we exported in January, and a big part of the drop comes from vehicles. Exports of vehicle and vehicle parts fell 21% in January to $5.4 billion. That's the lowest it's been since September of 2021. Metal exports also dropped. Unwrought gold, silver, and platinum exports down over 12%. Higher exports of energy products helped to offset the losses. Empire reported earnings today. The parent company of Sobeys had a loss of $385 million in its latest quarter. The company incurred costs related to shutting down its delivery service in Alberta. Sales were actually up from the same quarter in 2025, coming in at just under $8 billion. The CRTC says it will prevent companies from charging customers when they cancel, change, or activate cell phone or internet plans. That means customers can snag a better deal without dealing with cancellation costs. The new rules take effect June 12th. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is down to 73.38. West Texas Intermediate is up another $9 to 96.32. Western Canadian Select gaining $3 today to 72.01. And the TSX lost another 279 points. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
Taking a look at our 3-day forecast for the weekend, starting off in New Brunswick, a high of 1 degree today. We do have a mix of sun and cloud into the afternoon, starting off, though, with a chance of flurries. Into the evening, snow and or rain returns. That continues in our forecast for Saturday with a high of 2 degrees, warming up to 4 degrees on Sunday. A mix of sun and cloud with isolated flurries for the central region of the province. For Nova Scotia, 2 degrees today, snow and or rain starts to clear out into the late afternoon, leaving a mix of sun and cloud. 5 degrees on Saturday with snow and or rain returning. And then on Sunday, cooling down to 3 degrees with a mix of sun and cloud. For Prince Edward Island, -1 today for your daytime high. We do have snow starting off the day. Will clear, leaving a mix of sun and cloud into the late afternoon. Saturday, 2 degrees with snow throughout the day. Transitions over to showers and or flurries into the evening. Sunday, a high of 1 with a mix of sun and cloud.
Coming up this half hour, the Move Morning Chat. It's Friday the 13th. We want to know if there's something you'll avoid because of potential bad luck. That's just ahead on your Morning Atlantic.
Thanks for being with us on this Friday, March 13th. And being it, a Friday the 13th, and, there's the superstitions. I have a whole new outlook now on the day because last month I did a story with a man whose dog went missing for 6 months after a car crash.
Yes.
And he found out on Friday the 13th in February that his dog had been found and was safe and well.
Yeah.
So that has completely changed my outlook because, he said that day, it's just another day. Like, this is actually now a good day. It doesn't need to be this whole spooky thing. So now in just a month, I've completely changed my outlook. Usually I'd be like, oh, it's spooky today, Friday the 13th. No, so many good things can happen.
Oh, yeah.
I love the number 13. I think of it as lucky 13.
It is a very lucky number. Taylor Swift's favorite number.
There you go.
Very true.
Are you a Friday the 13th person?
I used to be very spooked about Friday the 13th. Now I enjoy it. But if something bad happens, like if it was to happen today, I'd be like, you know what? It's because it's Friday the 13th.
Blame
I like
it.
to blame it. Yeah.
That's fun. It's good to have a good scapegoat.
Exactly. All right. Yeah, we're going to talk about the weather now. It's kind of
spooky.
Who are we going to blame for this? Who the heck are we going to blame for this?
Mother Nature.
There we go.
Not I. Here's a live look at Port aux Basques early this morning. Quite warm starting off your day, actually. It's 4 degrees, very dark outside early in the morning. Still seeing some mixed precipitation tracking across much of Newfoundland early this morning. So it's definitely something to keep in mind when you are headed out on your morning commute. It is colder. We've seen colder air return across parts of the region. -6 degrees starting off your day in Fredericton, -4 in Charlottetown with -2 degrees early in the morning in Halifax, -14 in Happy Valley Goose Bay with -1 in Corner Brook. Taking a look at that wind chill, it is factoring in early this morning. Temperatures will remain on the cooler side of things for our daytime highs as well for the most part. And we do still have a risk of frostbite for parts of Labrador today. In terms of our watches and warnings, we do have many still remaining in effect. A special weather statement for eastern and southeastern Newfoundland. We do have a winter storm warning, a wind warning, and rainfall warning in effect. For Labrador, looking at a blowing snow advisory, a winter storm warning, and a cold warning. We also have an orange level rainfall warning for Newfoundland with an orange level snowfall warning and winter storm warning for Labrador. Over to our satellite and radar, still dealing with this messy mix for parts of Atlantic Canada. Starting to see it slowly clear out of the Maritime region. We will be seeing a bit of sunshine into the late afternoon for many areas across the Maritimes. Now, Newfoundland, Labrador still going to be dealing with snow and or an icy mixture today. In terms of the wind for the Maritime region, will continue to pick up, be quite strong today. As of right now, 41 kilometers per hour into Halifax, looking at 31 in Yarmouth, as well as into Lunenburg, 30 into St. John, New Brunswick. Wind gusts getting up to 54 kilometers per hour in Halifax, 41 in Lunenburg, 44 in Edmonton. We'll take a look at your weekend forecast just ahead. First, a look at your local news with Stephanie.
Thanks, Latavia. A 35-year-old man has been charged with first-degree murder in connection with the death of a Moncton woman whose body was found in a garbage bin. Police have charged Devlin O'Blennis with first-degree murder in the death of Melissa Price. Last month, the 39-year-old's remains were discovered in a bin near a walking trail. Investigators determined her death was a homicide. O'Blennis was arrested Wednesday and then charged. He remains in custody and will return to Moncton Court in April. Recent temperature fluctuations have made for treacherous conditions on the region's lakes and rivers. There have been incidents of people going through thin ice, which has prompted a warning. Here's CTV's Jonathan McGinnis.
It's very unsafe at this point.
However, Paul Dion says rescues are often needed this time of year when temperatures warm up, but people think the ice is still safe.
Well, there's no such thing as safe ice right now with all the variables in temperature and wind and melting. The ice is old. Old ice is not safe ice.
Dion says accidents still happen. 2 men in their 70s went into the water yesterday while ice fishing in Belle Isle, Nova Scotia. One body has been recovered. Police say the search for the other man continues.
Yeah, we get some. Every other year we'll get a drowning or two.
According to Paul Dion, ice thickness should be about 15 centimeters before someone can safely venture out. He says we should double that thickness for larger groups. If you do fall through the ice, Dion says try to stay calm.
What will happen is you'll gasp in your cold water immersion and you'll lose your breath. But if you calm yourself down, get to the edge of the ice and try and kick your feet and roll out of the hole.
With daytime temperatures consistently above the freezing mark, Dion says all on-ice activities should be over for the year. Nova Scotia RCMP are also advising people to stay off lakes and rivers. Jonathan McGinnis, CTV News, Halifax.
As Latavia mentioned, it's been a messy morning out there. For many in the region, it's a double dose following some slick conditions Thursday.
Very, very slippery. I fell twice. And then it gives a bit of a headache. You could slip, fall, boom.
In New Brunswick, many woke up to icy sidewalks, frozen vehicles, and slippery roads. On Thursday, much of the province received a few centimeters of ice pellets, followed by several hours of freezing rain. Some areas even saw 10 to 30 centimeters of a mix of snow and ice. Prices at the pumps were up and down depending on where you are in the Maritimes as the conflict in the Middle East continues. Starting in Nova Scotia, there was no change to the price of regular self-serve gasoline in the Halifax area. The minimum price remains $1.62 per liter. Diesel actually went down 5.3 cents. The minimum price is now $2.11 per liter. On Prince Edward Island, the price of gas went up 2.9 cents. The minimum price is now $1.69.4 a liter. The price of diesel also increased by 5.2 cents. The minimum price is now $2.19 a liter. And in New Brunswick, the price of gas jumped by 7 cents a liter. The maximum price is now $1.63.3. And diesel actually dropped 3.5 cents. The maximum price is now $2.16.4 a liter. The graveyard of the Atlantic is offering up secrets. Parks Canada archaeologists working on Sable Island have unearthed remnants of a shipwreck that shed light on a war centuries ago. Over the course of 2 weeks, they excavated and documented several shipwrecks on the island, finding a remarkably well-preserved one. While the dig happened last May, it has taken many months to examine all of the evidence.
The Barbados is thought to have been accompanying 3 other ships that were traveling from Bermuda up to Newfoundland in 1812. And out of the 4 ships, 3 of them all ran aground on Sable Island.
We've been able to identify the wood species as Bermuda cedar, which leads us to believe that it might have been a Bermuda sloop, in which case this might be the most intact archaeological example of a Bermuda sloop known currently.
There is still a lot of research to do with what was gathered. They will also be looking into the historical records to try to learn more about the sloop. And now it was called the Swift, the ship they believe that they found there. And this one in particular was carrying rum to Newfoundland.
Wow. Very interesting. Also, sloop. What a fun word.
I know.
Right? I learned something today.
The
There we
sloop
go.
Swift.
Yeah.
It's kind of a tongue twister.
It is
yeah.
indeed. Did I say that 5 times fast? All right, let's go on an adventure, not by ship, but by air. You can indulge in the magic of Hong Kong by entering our chance to win a trip for two, courtesy of the Hong Kong Tourism Board. Now, this is nearing the end of our contest. The prize includes round-trip flights on Cathay Pacific, 4 luxurious nights at the Park Lane, Hong Kong, $1,000 spending money, and a 3-day pass granting access to more than 20 amazing attractions. Enter while you can online at ctvatlantic.ca or scan that QR code on your screen. Good luck to you. Let's take a little break, and we'll be back with more of our show right after this.
Good morning, Atlantic Canada. Happy Friday. The time now is 6:41. We're taking a live look at Halifax, -2 degrees starting off your day. As you can see there, we do have a bit of snow accumulation on the ground, but we are going to see this mixed precipitation really begin to clear out parts of Atlantic Canada a little bit later this morning. As of right now, -6 degrees in Fredericton. We're looking at -4 starting off your day in Charlottetown, 0 into Sydney, -10 degrees in Cartwright with -7 into St. Anthony. A special weather statement remains in effect for Saturday evening until Sunday for the eastern and southeastern region of Newfoundland. We also have a winter storm warning until tonight for western Newfoundland and the Great Northern Peninsula. Looking at a wind warning for overnight tonight. Wind gusts could get up to 100 kilometers per hour. A rainfall warning could see up to 30 millimeters of precipitation. For Labrador, a blowing snow advisory until Saturday expected, as well as a winter storm warning and a cold warning, seeing the wind chill near -45 until early Saturday morning. Also an orange level rainfall warning in effect for parts of Newfoundland, an orange level snowfall warning, and a winter storm warning for Labrador. Here's a look at the current system tracking across Atlantic Canada. We are still seeing an icy mixture for parts of the region. As of right now, though, starting to clear out of parts of New Brunswick. Going to be seeing sunshine as the sun begins to rise. For the rest of the region, slowly clearing out later this morning into the afternoon for parts of Nova Scotia and Prince Edward Island, but still remaining for parts of the Maritime region and still seeing that wintry mix for much of Newfoundland. Labrador looking at snow throughout the day. And then into the evening hours, all 3 maritime provinces, just a bit of cloud coverage remains. But we do have another low pressure system in right behind this last one. And we are going to see snow and or rain carrying into Saturday, and also going to see some mild temperatures. So temperatures will warm up into Saturday afternoon for the daytime highs. But if you're wondering about snow accumulation, still going to see around 1 to 5 centimeters of additional snowfall for parts of Prince Edward Island, much of Nova Scotia. The heaviest being 10 to 15 centimeters for North Mountain, 5 to 10 centimeters of accumulation for Labrador. The heaviest for Newfoundland being around 30 to 45 centimeters for St. Anthony. For our rainfall outlook, not really seeing any totals accumulate for the Maritime region, seeing around 10 to 20 millimeters of precipitation for parts of Newfoundland. For our forecast today for New Brunswick, starting off with flurries that will clear out, leaving a mix of sun and cloud. Daytime highs will range from -4 to +2, wind gusts of 50 kilometers per hour. And then for Prince Edward Island, highs between -3 to -1. Snow starts off the day, transitions over to flurries before clearing out into the late afternoon, leaving mainly cloudy skies, wind gusts of 60. For Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, daytime highs still remain around -2 to 2 degrees. Rain starts off the day with a risk of freezing rain, transitions over to snow, wind gusts of 60. For the rest of Nova Scotia, a bit of flurry activity starts off the day that will clear into the late afternoon, leaving sunshine for you as well. Highs between -1 to 2 degrees. And then for Labrador City, we are going to see flurries start off the day clearing, leaving mainly cloudy skies, a high of -16 degrees. 13 for St. John's, Newfoundland, rain and or drizzle with a risk of thunderstorms. Transitions over to flurries into the mid to late afternoon and evening. For forecast on Saturday, as I mentioned, another low pressure system moves in. Warmer air moves in as well. We are going to see snow and or rain for the Maritime region. And then into Saturday evening, pretty much the same, but we start to see a bit of clearing for parts of Nova Scotia. Labrador remains quite clear. And then for Newfoundland, seeing snowfall move in as well. Sunday's forecast, still dealing with a bit of flurry activity early into the morning on Sunday. Temperatures starting to cool back down and still remaining snow in Newfoundland. That's a look at your weather forecast. We'll flip things over to the Move Morning Chat.
I hope you play Superstition by Stevie Wonder on Move 100 today because it is Friday the 13th. It got us thinking about some superstitions that we believe in or don't believe in for today or year-round. Are you too suspicious?
You know what? I am not a suspicious person at all. And I'm anxious to hear from Latavia because I'm like, I feel like today's Latavia's day. I don't know. But not suspicious at all. However, I'm kind of nervous about today. And I'm going to be quite vague with this, but I have a major life moment happening for me today. One of the biggest decisions that you'll make in your life. And it all rides on today's date. I can't even tell you what it is just yet because I'm so afraid that I'm going to jinx this for myself. I'm so afraid that this is not going to play out the way I want it to. And I actually made the appointment for this all to happen myself, not realizing today is Friday the 13th. So ask Peter, I have been spiraling all morning long.
Terrible.
This is one of the biggest decisions I've made in my life, and it's all happening today on the Friday the 13th. Anyway, just I need the good vibes. Send them my way. Hopefully everything works out well and I can share a little bit more in the future. But man, I am feeling very superstitious today and I don't like it.
Generally, we're asking, what wouldn't you do on Friday the 13th?
Yeah.
Or, what are you not doing because it's Friday the 13th? And what Aaron is describing is pretty much what I wouldn't do on Friday the 13th. I wouldn't go into any major life moments, decisions, contracts.
So you're making her feel better.
On Friday the 13th. Now, as far as what I wouldn't do on Friday the 13th, it is just that. Am I going to start, I don't know, going into the bank and saying I need all the money in the world and it's Friday the 13th? No, that can't go right. You can do it on another day. You can do other things on another day. Generally speaking, I'm also not going to make friends with anyone named Jason because it is Friday the 13th. Okay?
That's a fair one. What about you?
Wow. Well, I have a flight on Friday the 13th. I have a flight today, and I can tell you, I am not bothered at all. It's all gonna be fine. Aaron, good luck to you. Oh,
thank you.
Let's all remember what Amanda just said, by the way. If this comes up later.
You'll know. Then you'll know.
You'll know.
But I will say, in terms of safety, just as a good rule around year-round, just don't walk under ladders. It's just not a safe idea.
Good.
It's not a good idea in general.
Yeah.
No. I come from a long line of very superstitious women in my family.
Yeah.
I myself was very superstitious growing up. Now, I love Friday the 13th because it's a great opportunity to watch horror movies. However, my life is quite spooky on its own, day to day, and my eye has been twitching all week this week.
Yeah.
What I would avoid doing on Friday the 13th is Googling, what does this mean? Because I Googled what my eye twitching would mean, and it said, bad juju is headed my way, a bad omen, and now I am spooked. Yes.
No. Okay, we're going to put the question to our viewers this morning. It is Friday the 13th. Do you believe in any superstitions? What do you avoid doing because it's Friday the 13th? Send us a text at 10400 and we will share what you have to say a little later.
The #1 morning show in Halifax. Turk, Megan, and Amateur Alex. And home to the biggest artists. Halifax's #1 hit music station. 101.3 Virgin Radio.
Welcome back. The time now is 6:52. We're going to head over to Hollywood and take a look at your entertainment headlines.
What do you wish to do, Hamnet?
I shall be one of Father's players.
Hamnet, a drama about love and loss in William Shakespeare's personal life, is up for 8 Oscars Sunday, including Best Picture and Best Director for Chloe Zhao. Zhao, who previously won Best Director in 2021 for Nomadland, tells ABC Audio she welcomes the recognition.
I'm not cynical about it because to be seen and celebrated and validated by your peers, which is very much a found family for me, is an amazing feeling.
The Oscars air live on ABC and stream on Hulu March 15th at 7 p.m. Eastern.
You think we're just going to let you steal our fans?
Get ready for K-pop Demon Hunters 2. Netflix has officially confirmed a sequel to its most popular film of all time. A statement from the director says, "There's so much more to this world we have built, and I'm excited to show you."
Yeah, I look different. But hey,
everything about me is different.
We've got our first look at Malcolm in the Middle, Life's Still Unfair. It's the latest sitcom revival. In the trailer, Malcolm and his daughter are dragged back into his family's dysfunction after a decade of no contact. All 4 episodes premiere April 10th on Hulu, which is owned by Disney, the parent company of ABC News. And happy birthday to actor William H. Macy. He turns 76 today. That's what's happening in Hollywood. Jacqueline Lee, ABC News.
How much does it cost to be kind? Well, nothing. Even a smile can make a world of a difference, and it's free. So imagine what you could do with 20 bucks.
Yeah, that's exactly what a high school teacher in the States did a few years back. And that simple challenge has grown into a full-blown movement. Here's ABC's Danny New.
What did you do when I gave you the $20?
You may recall our story last year with English teacher Christina Ulmer and her tradition called the $20 Kindness Challenge.
Usually the first week or so, they'll say, are we doing your kindness thing?
Christina has become famous around Horsham, Pennsylvania for, twice a year, giving all of her high school students a crisp $20 bill with a simple assignment. Do something kind with it.
I donated toys to Glad Dogs Nation.
Over the years, students have used that money to bake cookies for nursing homes or pass out flowers to strangers. Whatever they choose, each act also honors Christina's sister, Kate, who tragically passed away in a car accident in 2014. Christina used the cash from Kate's purse to fund the first challenge a few years later.
Like, I can just see her there doing the things that my students are doing. So it does make me think about her a lot more.
And now we have an update on that mission to honor Kate and spread her generous spirit.
Oh, after the piece aired, then the donations went up like crazy.
After our story aired, Christina says donations skyrocketed, and she started receiving letters from around the country with gifts or just notes of appreciation. In fact, a few months ago, Christina officially got the $20 Kindness Challenge registered as a nonprofit, which apparently...
Do you know that was your idea?
That was my idea?
You were the first person who were like, maybe you could help other teachers. So I was like, maybe I could. That's actually an interesting idea.
Now with the challenges, increased influence and resources.
So grateful to have Christina's challenge.
Christina has inspired teachers in other states to try this with their students, like Amy in Delaware.
Christina, I cannot thank you enough.
And this coming April, for the first time, Christina will be funding another class. Fittingly, it'll be with Siri in New Jersey, who was Christina's typing teacher in middle school.
That feels pretty amazing to be able to give back to her.
There are also resources on the foundation's website to help people with starting their own $20 Kindness Challenge. And Christina says she has personally guided both schools and churches across the country throughout the past year. In New York, for ABC News, I'm Danny New.
Happening now, a 35-year-old man has been charged with first-degree murder in the death of a Moncton woman whose body was found in a garbage bin. A busy blood collection clinic in Halifax will remain closed today due to water-related issues. The Bears Road Clinic abruptly shut down yesterday over the issues. And gas prices in the Maritimes were up and down depending on where you are in the region as the conflict in the Middle East continues. Those details coming up next in your local news, but first we'll take a short break. Stay with us. It's Friday, March 13th. Today on Your Morning Atlantic, first-degree murder charge. A man is now in custody following the death of a Moncton woman whose body was found last month in a garbage bin. Your top news headlines just ahead.
And this week in Canadian politics, from a floor crossing in Ottawa to a budget reversal in Nova Scotia, there's a lot to dive into. Dalhousie University political scientist Laurie Turnbull breaks it all down for us a little later this half hour on Your Morning Atlantic.
Good morning, Atlantic Canada. Thank you so much for joining us. The time now is 7 o'clock, almost 7:01, and it's Friday the 13th.
Yay! Friday. That's my takeaway from that. It's Friday.
Yes.
I am not at all superstitious. The Move Morning Chat is if you avoid anything because of superstition. Not at all.
I'm superstitious when it comes to sports. I know growing up playing hockey, if I scored a goal, I would not change the tape on that stick until at least the next game, and then I wouldn't score again. Then I'm like, okay, it's time to take it off. But that's very common in sports to have those types of superstitions.
Absolutely. That's a fun one, though. I've just decided not to do superstitions. Like, if I see a black cat cross my path, I'm like, yay, a cat, you know? I'm not going to take anything bad from that.
Yes, I think it's all about, like, changing your attitude and looking at things in that type of way.
Like you saying you did that amazing story about the man reuniting with the dog on a Friday.
Friday the 13th can be your luckiest day.
Which we aired that on our show, but if you missed it, check it out online. It is a beautiful story. Bring a little warm your heart on this Friday.
Yes.
The weather, will it warm your heart?
We'll see sunshine return for parts of the week.
We'll take it. We'll take it.
Exactly. But we are seeing a bit of snow accumulation. Very light dusting, though, on the ground across parts of the region. Here's a live look at Yarmouth, starting off at -4 degrees. So we are seeing colder air move back in across parts of Atlantic Canada. Temperatures will rise a bit, but still going to remain cooler for your daytime highs. -6 degrees right now in Fredericton, with -4 in Charlottetown. -3 degrees in Halifax, looking at -14 in Happy Valley, Goose Bay, 4 degrees in Gander. Taking a look at our wind chill, still factoring in early this morning, so it's going to feel a bit cooler starting off your day. We do still have that risk of frostbite over in Labrador City. A special weather statement in effect for Saturday evening until Sunday for the eastern and southeastern region of Newfoundland. Also seeing a winter storm warning until tonight, a wind warning, as well as a rainfall warning. For Labrador, looking at a blowing snow advisory this afternoon until Saturday, a winter storm warning, a cold warning also remains in effect. We do have an orange level rainfall warning for parts of Newfoundland with an orange level snowfall warning and winter storm warning. Here's a look at our satellite and radar. Starting to see the system slowly clear out of parts of the Maritime region, but still remaining for much of the parts of Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island, as well as Newfoundland, still dealing with that icy mixture today. And for Labrador, we will be seeing a bit of flurry activity starting off your day as well. In terms of the wind for the Maritime region, it remains breezy today. As of right now, 41 kilometers per hour in Halifax with 31 in Lunenburg, Yarmouth, and Edmundston. We are going to see wind gusts getting up to 46 kilometers per hour in Edmundston, 41 in Lunenburg, with 37 in Charlottetown. We'll take another look at your weekend forecast just ahead. First, a look at your local news with Stephanie.
Thanks, Latavia. A 35-year-old man has been charged with first-degree murder in connection with the death of a Moncton woman whose body was found in a garbage bin. Police have charged Devlin O'Blennis with first-degree murder in the death of Melissa Price. Last month, a 39-year-old's remains were discovered in a bin near a walking trail. Investigators determined her death was a homicide. O'Blennis was arrested Wednesday and then charged. He remains in custody and will return to Moncton Court in April. You might want to give yourself some extra time to get to work this morning. As we've heard from Latavia, it's slick out there. The rain switched over to ice pellets and then snow this morning in the Halifax area. With temperatures hovering around the freezing mark, it's making for some slippery conditions. Salt trucks are out as highways and city streets are now covered in snow. We are also now hearing of some school closures in Nova Scotia and Prince Edward Island. For a full list of impacted schools, you can visit our website, ctvnewsatlantic.ca. A busy blood collection clinic in Halifax will remain closed today following an unexpected closure yesterday. The Bears Road Clinic shut down because of what the health authority called water-related issues, but didn't provide details beyond telling CTV News they were waiting for a plumber to come to the site. In an email last night, officials confirmed the facility would remain closed today, but patient appointments would be honored at other blood collection sites within the Halifax Regional Municipality, or they'll have the option of rebooking for later. Could New Brunswick become a hotspot for doctors? The Susan Holt government is hoping a new $270 million deal will attract more physicians to set up practice in the province. CTV's Avery McRae has the details.
Any physician working in New Brunswick's public health care system won't have to worry about what their pay structure will look like for the foreseeable future.
Our physicians were the worst paid in the country. The best way to bleed our system is to not increase their contracts.
But now the health minister feels this $270 million four-year deal with the New Brunswick Medical Society makes the province among the most desirable places for physicians to practice. And the premier agrees.
I believe that this contract is going to deliver exceptional value value for New Brunswickers who have been waiting for a very long time to get access to primary care.
The contract is based off measurable improvements to patient access. Physicians will be rewarded for taking on more patients, seeing them in a timely manner, and working in the new collaborative care models the province is focused on.
There are no hourly pay structures in the fee-for-service. Everything was kept on a for-performance basis, and physicians that will attach more patients and see more patients will see more economic benefit.
A bulk of those increases are structured in a form that will help the clinics. Physicians who meet performance goals will receive more money to hire additional staff and address other areas of concern in their practice.
We need to be able to have the resources available to be there for our patients. We want to see them in a timely manner. We want to be there. We want to take as many patients as we can, but quality of care is important as well.
The signing of the contract comes a week before the Susan Holt government is set to reveal its second budget, which is anticipated to come in at a deficit of $1.3 billion. The Premier has said the province's #1 focus is healthcare, and time will tell what that could mean for other sectors in the province in this upcoming budget. Avery McCrae, CTV News, Fredericton.
Prices at the pumps were up and down depending on where you are in the Maritimes as the conflict in the Middle East continues. Starting in Nova Scotia, there was no change to the price of regular self-serve gasoline in the Halifax area. The minimum price remains $1.62 per liter. Diesel actually went down 5.3 cents. The minimum price is now $2.11 per liter. On Prince Edward Island, the price of gas went up 2.9 cents. The minimum price is now $1.69.4 a liter. The price of diesel also increased by 5.2 cents. The minimum price is now $2.19 a liter. And in New Brunswick, the price of gas jumped by 7 cents a liter. The maximum price is now $1.63.3, and diesel actually dropped 3.5 cents. The maximum price is now $2.16.4 a liter. And we are seeing like a lot of fluctuations, of course, in these gas prices recently, and PEI recently just made the decision as well. Instead of just doing Friday adjustments, they'll be doing 2 adjustments now per week.
Makes sense.
Like on the regular?
Yes. So they'll be providing updates. I believe it's Tuesday and Fridays now, just given everything going on.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm happy with that, but I hope it's not permanent. I hope it's just during these times.
I do believe it is a temporary change.
I don't really want our gas to go up twice regularly.
Sometimes it goes down.
That's true.
That is
depending.
These days, but it's possible.
Exactly. Well, let's move to something very positive on a Friday. Very good Friday story. I love stories about people who are just using it and not losing it, and that is the case with this 85-year-old who cycled 85 laps to celebrate his birthday.
It's partly a denial of the aging process. I don't want to believe it, so I keep going until, I get so old and stupid I can't find a bike.
So this is not just like plodding along on a nice, like this is at a velodrome, and this is in London, Ontario. Jim Gilchrist is a retired oncologist who recently celebrated his 85th birthday by doing not just 85 laps, but he decided to keep going till he lost count. Not only does he like cycling, but he says it was a way to raise awareness to hopefully keep the facility going, and he was presented with a cake and received a special recognition from the town's mayor.
Oh, incredible.
Yay, happy birthday. Good job, Jim.
Oh, that's excellent. All right, well, still ahead in this half hour, we'll have your national and international news headlines. But first, your full Friday forecast. Here's a live look at Hampton. Good morning, everyone watching us from there. Stay with us. Your Morning Atlantic will be right back in just a few minutes.
Good morning, Atlantic, Canada. Happy Friday. The time now is 7:13. Taking a live look at Brookville. Currently -6 degrees in your area. So quite a cold start to the day considering all the warmer temperatures we've seen for pretty much most of the week. As of right now, it is -7 degrees in Fredericton, -5 in Charlottetown, -4 degrees in Halifax, -1 starting off your day in Sydney, -22 degrees in Labrador City, 12 into St. John's, Newfoundland. We do have a special weather statement in effect for eastern and southeastern Newfoundland for Saturday evening until Sunday. We are expecting snow and strong wind gusts. Over to the winter storm warning in effect for western Newfoundland and the Great Northern Peninsula. Could see up to 25 centimeters of accumulation. Wind gusts could get up to 80. Wind warning as well for overnight tonight. Wind gusts of 100 kilometers per hour. And a rainfall warning also remains in effect until this afternoon. A blowing snow advisory also in effect for parts of Labrador. Winter storm warning, a cold warning with the wind chill nearing -45 early Saturday morning. We also have an orange level rainfall warning in effect, as well as an orange level snowfall warning and winter storm warning for Labrador. Here's a look at our current forecast timeline. Starting to see the system clear out of parts of New Brunswick, leaving sunshine as the sun begins to rise early this morning. We do have some flurry activity for the Maritime region. Still seeing a bit of a wintry mix for parts of Cape Breton Island, eastern Nova Scotia. Now Newfoundland seeing that icy mixture starting off the day, as well as snow over in Labrador. Into the afternoon, much of the same, slowly clearing out of parts of all three maritime provinces. That takes us into this evening. We do see pretty clear skies with increasing cloudiness into the overnight hours for the Maritime region. But we do have another system making its way over, bringing snow and or rain back in across the Maritime region into our forecast for Saturday. If you're wondering about snowfall totals, looking at around 1 to 5 centimeters of accumulation for parts of Prince Edward Island, Nova Scotia. Heaviest being into Cape Breton Island at around 10 to 15 centimeters for North Mountain. 5 to 10 centimeters of accumulation for parts of Labrador. For Newfoundland, the heaviest being 30 to 45 centimeters for St. Anthony. And then for our rainfall outlook, not seeing any accumulation for the Maritime region, but we will be seeing around 10 to 20 millimeters for parts of Newfoundland. Into our forecast for New Brunswick, looking at flurries starting off the day clearing, leaving a bit of sunshine. Daytime highs will range from -4 to +2, wind gusts of 50 kilometers per hour. For Prince Edward Island, snow transition over to flurries before clearing out, leaving mainly cloudy skies late this afternoon. Highs will range from -3 to -2. And then for Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, seeing rain starting off the day with a risk of freezing rain, transitioning over to snow. We're looking at highs between -2 to 1 and wind gusts of 60. For the rest of Nova Scotia, flurries will clear out, leaving a mix of sun and cloud late this afternoon. Highs will range from -1 to 2 degrees. For Labrador City, we're looking at a high of -16 degrees today. Flurries clear, leaving mainly cloudy skies. 12 degrees for St. John's, Newfoundland, so quite a warm day ahead. But we do have rain and or drizzle with a risk of thunderstorms in the morning. Transitions over to flurries. Saturday's forecast, snow and or rain for all three maritime provinces. A mild day ahead, though. Newfoundland, Labrador seeing a bit of sunshine, especially across parts of Labrador. And then into Saturday night, we start to see the system make its way over to Newfoundland. We are going to see periods of snow move in. And then into Sunday's forecast, dealing with a bit of flurry activity for parts of all three maritime provinces and snow for the remainder of the day for Newfoundland. That's a look at your weather forecast. We're going to throw things over to Stephanie for your national and international news headlines.
Thanks, Latavia. The war in Iran is driving up jet fuel prices, and Canadian airlines are already passing those cost hikes down to passengers. CTV's Allison Bamford has more on what air travelers could see in the coming weeks.
For years, Haley Burnoff has dreamed of traveling to Japan with her mom. The hope was to go this summer.
Life gets in the way, right? So this is finally our year, but now it looks like it won't be.
Airfare hikes could ground their plans again. Jet fuel prices have skyrocketed, propelled by the war in Iran. WestJet and Air Canada say they've adjusted fares to reflect the higher costs, and Air Transat applied a $25 surcharge on Canadian flights to Europe.
Expect fare increases, significant fare increases over the next few months.
John Graddick, aviation management lecturer at McGill, estimates international flights could increase by $100 to $200 one way if jet fuel prices remain high. Domestic flights could fare a little better as airlines try to mitigate the costs.
But if that effort doesn't work, there's going to be a fuel surcharge somewhere between $50 and $100 planned for Canadian and for North American fares.
Canadian airlines say they'll continue monitoring the impacts and respond accordingly, but for now believe travel demand remains strong.
They don't want to spike prices so high that they start pushing demand or passengers away.
But the current cost to fly has some Canadians already hesitant to book. Jamie Vinkin has no choice. She needs to get from Regina to Ottawa to write an exam in May.
I'm going to try and
book it sooner rather than later. I've just been too afraid to look at the actual costs right now.
For passengers planning an international trip this summer or fall, experts say it might be wise to lock in those flights now. Flying will only get more expensive during those peak seasons. Allison Bamford, CTV News, Saskatoon.
NASA says its first crewed mission to the moon in more than half a century is prepared for takeoff next month.
We are on track for a launch as early as April 1st.
4 astronauts, including Canadian Jeremy Hansen, have been waiting to blast off in a rocket that faced issues during launch rehearsals. NASA describes the Artemis 2 mission as a crewed lunar flyby where astronauts will travel around the moon. Time now for a short break. Much more to come on Your Morning Atlantic. Stay with us.
Welcome back at 7:22. Now, between a floor crossing in Ottawa to a budget backpedal in Nova Scotia, a lot has happened in Canadian politics this week. Here to help us digest it all is Dalhousie University political science professor Laurie Turnbull. Good morning, Laurie.
Good morning.
So let's start with Nova Scotia. Premier Tim Houston's government apologized and walked back on budget cuts, restoring $54 million in spending for programs for people with disability and seniors and for African, Nova Scotian and Indigenous students. How rare is this kind of reversal?
I mean, it's not what you typically see. I mean, normally when a government comes down with a budget, they've decided what they're going to do, and they're probably not going to change their minds. However, typically, I think especially in recent decades, governments consult pretty widely on budget matters, and especially if there's going to be something that they know communities are not going to react well to, they focus group that. They let people know. They try to build some legitimacy and acceptance of the decision so that when it does get announced to the broader public, you don't get a big backlash. But my sense in this case is that the Houston government didn't do that. And so when the backlash came, they backed down. And so it shows, you know, if we're vocal, if people let their voice be heard, if you really get out there, you can make a difference.
Yeah. Let's move over to Ottawa now, where Nunavut MP Lori Idlout has left the NDP and joined the Liberals. She's the 4th MP to cross the floor since the fall and the first from the NDP. How shocked were you about this news?
Not at all. It had been a pretty widespread rumor in Ottawa that Ms. Idlout had been approached by the Liberals, and she did confirm that herself some weeks ago. She did indicate that she had had those conversations and that she wasn't going to make the decision then, but now she has. I mean, I think we are in a kind of time where we might see a bit more floor crossing, because, you know, something like a party like the NDP, they actually don't have official party status. So technically, although obviously she was identifying as an NDP and that's how she ran, technically she was an independent sitting in the party because they don't have enough MPs to actually have party status. But also I think we're seeing a time where the relationships between the parties are a bit different now. Prime Minister Carney is much more of a kind of centrist and even, you know, almost red Tory-ish, you know, whereas Justin Trudeau was definitely a left-leaning progressive. And so we can see, I think, a bit more movement from the Conservative Party because they see more overlap in terms of their own values and Mark Carney's, especially if you're sitting on that moderate side of the Conservative Party. But Lori Idlout is an interesting one in the sense that she obviously brings that perspective from the North. The Arctic sovereignty issue is something that she and Prime Minister Carney certainly have in common by way of a priority. And so she's made the point that she's in a better position now to advocate for her community, being part of the governing caucus. And frankly, it's hard to argue against that.
All right, I'm ripping through these questions because I know we've only got about 4 minutes. I want to get as much done as we can. Prime Minister Mark Carney has told MPs that Canada will never participate in the U.S.-Israeli war on Iran. How important was this for him to make this statement?
I don't think that the communication on the Iran issue and Canada's potential involvement and whether we support and to what extent we support, I don't think the communication was managed very well. It seemed like we were almost being let in on the Prime Minister's thought process, where he first reacted very quickly to say that Canada was supportive, you know, of the move by the U.S. and Israel to try to contain Iran. And I mean, you know, what you wanted to read into that at the time is not that he was saying, oh, yeah, we think the way he's going about it is great. It's just, it was more Canada supports this in some kind of basic way. But as the week went on, it seemed like there were some inconsistencies in terms of whether Canada might ever participate. Originally, he said that he couldn't rule it out, and of course, we can't rule it out. What if something happened where NATO decided to engage on this? We'd have an obligation, right? But I think the reaction to the possibility of Canada having boots on the ground in this thing created a big political problem for him, and he had to try to resolve that.
Yeah, certainly we'll have to see what happens in the coming weeks. But Lori, really appreciate your insights today. Thank you so much. There's so much more we could have touched on.
You got it. Anytime. Happy weekend.
Happy weekend to you. All right, well, let's begin weekend. Let's turn over to Latavia, who has a look at the forecast.
Thanks, Crystal. Starting off in New Brunswick, a high of 1 degree. We do have a bit of flurry activity that will clear, leaving sunshine into the late afternoon. Evening, snow and or rain returns, though. On Saturday, 2 degrees with snow and or rain. And then on Sunday, 4 degrees is your daytime high, a mix of sun and cloud with isolated flurries to the central region. For Nova Scotia, 2 degrees today with snow and or rain. That will clear out, leaving a mix of sun and cloud. Warming up to 5 degrees on Saturday, but we do have snow and or rain continuing. On Sunday, 3 degrees with a mix of sun and cloud. For Prince Edward Island, -1 today, looking at snow clearing, leaving a mix of sun and cloud late into the afternoon. Saturday, 2 degrees with snow, transitioning over to showers and or flurries into the evening. And then on Sunday, 1 degree with a mix of sun and cloud.
Just ahead in this half hour, the University Cup Men's National Hockey Championships. They're coming to Halifax next month, and the SMU Huskies are hoping for a little home ice advantage. We're lacing up in about 15 minutes on Your Morning Atlantic.
It's Friday, last official Friday of winter, which we'll take. Stephanie Seacos is in today. Latavia's wearing a fun leopard print skirt. So much to celebrate. Sometimes I find I do need to kind of look at this, especially this time of year, just to really find the good things that you can look forward to each day. I'll tell you one good thing. I had 2 cups of coffee. The second one was as delicious as the first. That rarely happens.
Win-win.
Win-win-win, yeah. What about you? What are you finding joy in today on this Friday?
Ooh, just the fact that I'm here with all of you this morning.
We're glad to have you.
It is fun. And you, Latavia, what's your
Friday, which means I can vegetate for the weekend as much as possible.
Yes, that is true. Yeah. That's an easy one. Love it. Okay, weather-wise, where's the joy?
I don't even know anymore. No, I'm just joking. There's at least sunshine in the forecast today as the system clears out. But we do have another system wrapping in right behind it. So snow and or rain continues into the weekend forecast, at least for Saturday. So here's a live look right now. You can see a pretty cloudy start to your day. We did have a bit of snow accumulation on the ground. It's a light dusting, though. But as of right now, it is colder starting off your day, especially when you factor in that wind chill. So early this morning, going to feel cool. Make sure to layer up. We're still dealing with an icy mixture for parts of Atlantic Canada. As of right now, -7 degrees heading outdoors in Fredericton with -5 in Charlottetown. -4 degrees in Halifax, -1 in Sydney, and 12 degrees in St. John's, Newfoundland. Here's a look at that wind chill early this morning. Temperatures will rise, but still remaining cooler for our daytime highs, and there is still a risk of frostbite early in the morning in Labrador City. A special weather statement remains in effect for parts of Newfoundland this morning. And we do have a winter storm warning, a wind warning, and rainfall warning across the province. And then into Labrador, we do have a blowing snow advisory, winter storm warning, and a cold warning for early Saturday morning. Also, an orange level rainfall warning for parts of Newfoundland and an orange level snowfall warning and winter storm warning. So still dealing with this system, especially over in Newfoundland and Labrador. The Maritime region slowly clearing out, but still dealing with a bit of an icy mixture for parts of Nova Scotia. We will be seeing sunshine into the afternoon, but still going to see this wintry mix remain for much of Newfoundland and Labrador. And then in terms of the forecast for the wind, it is going to remain breezy today for the Maritimes. As of right now, we're seeing 33 kilometers per hour in Halifax, as well as into Yarmouth, Moncton, and St. John, 31 kilometers per hour in Edmundston. Wind gusts getting up to 43 kilometers per hour in Halifax, 48 in Yarmouth, 43 in Moncton, 46 in Edmundston. We'll take another look at your weekend forecast just ahead. First, a look at your local news with Steph.
Thanks, Latavia. A 35-year-old man has been charged with first-degree murder in connection with the death of a Moncton woman whose body was found in a garbage bin. Police have charged Devlin O'Blennis with first-degree murder in the death of Melissa Price. Last month, the 39-year-old's remains were discovered in a bin near a walking trail. Investigators determined her death was a homicide. O'Blennis was arrested Wednesday and then charged. He remains in custody and will return to Moncton Court in April. A longtime Nova Scotia MLA says for the first time in her political career, she no longer feels safe doing her job. Queen's MLA and Minister Kim Masland is sharing details after a man showed up at her home one night. It's another example of intimidation of politicians. CTV's Jesse Thomas reports.
After a long day at the legislature, MLA Kim Masland was winding down. It was near midnight when her home security system alerted her phone. Someone was at her door.
I panicked. I was scared. I was thinking, oh my gosh, I am 100 kilometers away and someone's trying to break into my home, my safe place.
Masland was at her Halifax apartment while the legislature is sitting. She called RCMP to notify them of an alleged trespasser at her Liverpool home. They arrived quickly and arrested the man. But 3 days later, when Masland returned home, she couldn't shake the scary feeling.
And it was the first time I actually felt fear, walking into my own backyard, wondering, could there be someone else?
Masland said she no longer feels safe on the job. 6 months ago, she received an email threat from someone saying they knew where she lived.
I'm public because I believe it's important for me as an MLA and a minister to be involved in my community, to be out there, to be listening, to be learning.
The incident comes amid a tense political climate at the legislature where a controversial budget and proposed spending cuts have sparked protests outside. Premier Tim Houston has felt some of the anger and backlash and points out it's not just confined to provincial politics. Others of political stripes and offices have also been targets of threats and intimidation.
We like democracy where people can raise their voices, but they should do that. They can do that in a way that is respectful as way, and that's kind of a respectful manner, and that's who we are as Nova Scotians, so we just need to kind of get back to that.
The Speaker of the House introduced temporary restrictions limiting public access to certain areas inside Province House, citing safety for all. UNB sociologist David Hoffman studies extremism and politics and says when someone shows up at a politician's home, it crosses a line that has far-reaching impacts.
When crime occurs, it doesn't just hurt the individual involved, it hurts the community and has far-reaching consequences.
Premier Houston hasn't ruled out increasing security for all MLAs. Meanwhile, RCMP have charged a Liverpool man with trespassing. He'll appear in court at a later date. As for Masland, she says she'll stay in politics.
Well, I'd like to. Yeah, the people will make that decision.
Jesse Thomas, CTV News, Halifax.
Now to some changes at the pumps across the Maritimes as the conflict in the Middle East continues. Starting in Nova Scotia, there was no change to the price of regular self-serve gasoline in the Halifax area. The minimum price remains $1.62 per litre. Diesel actually went down 5.3 cents. The minimum price is now $2.11 per litre. On Prince Edward Island, the price of gas went up 2.9 cents. The minimum price is now $1.69.4 a litre. The price of diesel also increased by 5.2 cents. The minimum price is now $2.19 a litre. And in New Brunswick, the price of gas jumped by 7 cents a litre. The maximum price is now $1.63.3, and diesel actually dropped 3.5 cents. The maximum price is now $2.16.4 a litre. And as we've heard from Latavia this morning, you might want to give yourself some extra time to get to work this morning because it is slick out there. The rain switched over to ice pellets and then snow this morning in the Halifax area. With temperatures hovering around the freezing mark, it's making for some slippery conditions. Salt trucks are out as highways and city streets are now covered in snow. We are also now hearing of some school closures in Nova Scotia and Prince Edward Island. For a full list of impacted schools, you can visit our website, ctvnewsatlantic.ca. So kind of an early start to March break for some students in Nova Scotia and PEI. In New Brunswick, no closures or cancellations there because it is still March break.
Yes. Okay, there you go. That's a lot to absorb. By tonight, the roads should be fine. So Lacrosse fans, listen up. Grab your best green attire and head to the Nest tonight as the Halifax Thunderbirds take on the Toronto Rock. Now, all the fun is happening at the Scotiabank Centre. The game kicks off at 7:30 p.m. Tonight's theme is St. Patrick's Day, so you know it's going to be a hoot and a half.
Oh, yeah.
All of the energy at the Nest is always fantastic when the Thunderbirds are in town, and there are very few tickets left, so if you are hoping to go, you should probably snap those up right away. But not this game. But a game coming up if you're a fan of the Birds. Then our new contest is for you. You could win 4 tickets to the Thunderbirds home game on April 4th against the Rochester Nighthawks. Plus the chance to watch the pregame warm-up from the penalty box, a night at the Halifax Marriott Harbourfront Hotel, and a $100 gift card to the Harbourstone Poorhouse. Enter, head over to ctvatlantic.ca or scan that QR code. You can do that right now while we take a little break and return in about 2 minutes' time.
Good morning and welcome back. The time now is 7:43. We're taking a live look at White Point. A bit of sunshine early this morning. It is cold, though, starting off your day. Currently a -4 degrees. We are going to see temperatures rise just a bit, but still remaining quite cool for our daytime highs. It is cold this morning. We've seen colder air continue to move through the region. -7 degrees in Fredericton, -5 starting off your day in Charlottetown, -4 in Halifax, -1 in Sydney, but much warmer in St. John's, Newfoundland at 12 degrees. We do have a special weather statement in effect for the eastern and southeastern region of Newfoundland. This is for Saturday evening until Sunday. We also have a winter storm warning until tonight, a wind warning until overnight tonight, and a rainfall warning until this afternoon. For Labrador, looking at a blowing snow advisory this afternoon until Saturday, a winter storm warning until later tonight, and a cold warning for early Saturday morning. We also have an orange level rainfall warning in effect until around noon today, with a snowfall warning and a winter storm warning for parts of Labrador. So here's a look at the current system, still tracking across much of Atlantic Canada. Seeing a bit of sunshine, though, as the sun begins to rise for parts of New Brunswick. Other than that, though, still a bit of an icy mixture for parts of Cape Breton Island, parts of eastern Nova Scotia. Newfoundland seeing that icy mixture across much of the province today. And then for Labrador, dealing with snowfall early in the morning, but that will slowly start to clear out at least until late this afternoon. So into the afternoon, we see all 3 maritime provinces looking quite clear, seeing sunshine return. And then into tonight, increasing cloudiness. We have another low pressure system making its way over, bringing snow and or rain back around, and that carries into the forecast for Saturday. Temperatures do warm up, though, and remain quite mild for your daytime highs. If you're wondering about snowfall totals, looking at around 1 to 5 centimeters of accumulation for Prince Edward Island, parts of Nova Scotia, the heaviest being North Mountain, and around 10 to 15 centimeters. And then for Labrador, looking at around 5 to 10 centimeters of accumulation. For Newfoundland, the heaviest being St. Anthony at around 30 to 45 centimeters. And then for our rainfall outlook, not really seeing any accumulation for parts of Nova Scotia, but for Newfoundland, looking at around 10 to 20 millimeters. Over to our forecast today for New Brunswick. Starting off the day with flurries, already starting to clear out, leaving a mix of sun and cloud. Daytime highs will range from -4 to 2 degrees, and we are going to see wind gusts getting up to 50 kilometers per hour. For Prince Edward Island, highs between -3 to -2. Snow starts off the day, transitions over to flurries into the afternoon, and then clears out, leaving mainly cloudy skies. Wind gusts of 60 kilometers per hour. For Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, rain with a risk of thunderstorms and a risk of freezing rain will transition over to snow. Daytime highs between -2 to 1. And then for the rest of Nova Scotia, flurries clear, leaving a mix of sun and cloud late this afternoon. Daytime highs will range from -1 to 2 degrees. Labrador City, looking at flurries that will clear until the late afternoon, leaving mainly cloudy skies, a high of -16 degrees. 12 degrees for St. John's, Newfoundland, looking at rain and or drizzle with a risk of thunderstorms. Clearing, well, not clearing, transitioning over to a chance of flurries into the afternoon. Saturday's forecast, snow and or rain for all 3 maritime provinces. And then into Saturday night, seeing a bit of clearing for parts of Nova Scotia, but still dealing with that mixed precipitation. That takes us into our forecast for Sunday. The chance of flurries remains for parts of all 3 maritime provinces, and snow a bit heavier for parts of Newfoundland. That's a look at your weather forecast. Now we're going to head over to Smew.
I'm at St. Mary's University. I'm joined by men's hockey coach Tyler Nogler. This is a very big year for St. Mary's University.
Very exciting, right? So, you know, we're hosting the national championships this year. It's on the heels of, we had a big alumni this year. We had our induction in our 2010 team that won 17 years ago was inducted into the Hall of Fame. So now, you know, this year to be able to have the cup come back to Halifax and the cup come home, we're looking to really, you know, have a great impact in the tournament.
Yeah, this is a huge deal for people in our region to be able to see youth sport hockey at the Scotiabank Centre. I mean, that is a treat in and of itself. But for anybody with ties to the Huskies, Taking it back to 2010 when the team won a big championship, you were an assistant coach at that time. What was it like to actually win?
It's so hard to win, so to be part of something that special, you really then were able to really understand what it does take to win. I was very fortunate. I just came back in 2009 and 10 to just rejoin the team after being away for about 4 or 5 years. So to come back and to have that type of special opportunity with the program that I had worked for before, and the guys on the team are just so amazing. So to be with that special group was pretty incredible.
I can only imagine. Speak to the team this year. How are they going to do in this gigantic tournament?
I think we're going to do great. You know, I'm an optimistic coach. We're positive first. You know, we had a great start to the season. We went 6-0 to start the season, and then we ran into some tough adversity. But I think to be able to battle through that adversity and to get to this point right now, we have a team that's fully healthy, and we're really rolling on all cylinders.
That's incredibly encouraging. Well, let's meet a couple of the players now.
Okay, perfect.
So without further ado, let's meet some players. I'm joined now by Huskies team captain Charlie Dafonseca and forward Matt McDonald. So nice to meet you both.
Nice to meet you.
All right, so let's start with you, Charlie. You're the team captain. You were actually on the team that made the Nationals in PEI back in 2023, so you know what it's like to make a national championship. What does it feel like?
It's exciting to have another chance to win one. Obviously, in Halifax, it's really special, so we're hoping to have some great success in a couple weekends.
I want to talk to you, Matt, because you're a local boy. You're from just around the corner, basically. What is it like to play for the Huskies?
It's pretty special. You know, I grew up watching the playoffs here. I remember a great series between St. FX and St. Mary's at the Forum, and I've always wanted to be a Husky. And it's just nice for my grandparents to come watch and my family to be there in attendance. So.
Well, you make a great point for our viewers. This is a chance to come to the Scotiabank Centre and see some incredible university hockey.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, like, for the young kids, young minor hockey kids, it's pretty special. You know, I'd say it's probably the top level of hockey in the province, and to see these athletes compete, it's going to be pretty special.
It's an honor to have the chance to play right here in Halifax. So, Charlie, for the team, I know you've been on the team for several years now. You're the captain. You got to keep the spirits up. You guys came out like gangbusters beginning of the season, and then the injury train came into the station, and that's been a challenge, but I guess everybody's healthy now.
Yeah, everyone's healthy. You know, it sucked losing in the first round, obviously, but having the next couple weeks to get healthy and get better, I think it's going to be one of our strengths going into the tournament.
Well, Coach Tyler said everybody's healthy and looking good. I think, from my own experience, never having played hockey, but as a varsity athlete, sometimes a little adversity only prepares you, and kind of everything comes together at the right time.
Yeah, no doubt. Like you said, adversity is really important. We definitely dealt with it this year, so I think we've been building to some level of strength this year from it, and we're excited to show what we got in a couple weeks.
All right. Before we move on, I just wanted, for people at home watching right now, they're going to want to come and watch the game if they're in the area. What can they do to show the Huskies their top support?
Get loud and wear maroon for us, because we need all the support we can get.
Like Charlie said, wear some maroon and come show your support.
Well, good luck to you both.
Thank you very much.
Thanks so much.
So as you've heard, much like this Zamboni, the Huskies are hoping to clean up on the ice at the national championships that are starting on March 19th at the Scotiabank. Nobody knows more about this than this person, Alan April, who's working here with the Huskies. You've got what's on the line. This is the hardware they're looking for.
Yeah, absolutely, Crystal. This is the University Cup, the David Johnston University Cup, the original cup on top from 1963. And as you can see here, there's some Huskies history. The 2010 team that won it all will be actually honoring them at the opening game of the tournament this year.
This is a beautiful trophy. Oh my gosh, I bet there's some stories to tell with this.
Yeah, absolutely. It's got a lot of character. It's banged up. The last time our team won in 2010, we took it down on the water slide at the hotel, and I think it's gone missing for a couple of years, but we're happy to have it back at its rightful home here in Halifax.
Well, I think whoever wins this trophy this year is going to have a wonderful, wonderful bunch of memories to keep for the rest of their lives. Can I try to lift it up, Alan, if we switch spots for a second? Okay. All right. So all of the details are on our website, so you can get tickets to the University Cup. It is happening March 19th to 22nd at the Scotiabank Centre. Alan, here we go. Okay.
All right.
Do you take that? I'll take you. Oh, you can't. Okay.
I can.
Oh, you take that.
You got it?
Okay. Oh, wow. You've got to be strong to hoist the cup. Yes! Woo!
Health and medical news now. A cheese sold in New Brunswick is being recalled by Health Canada. CTV's Amanda Devison has more in your health.
Health Canada is recalling the Canelo brand Classy Roomy due to possible salmonella contamination. The cheese was sold in New Brunswick as well as Quebec and Ontario. The recall was triggered following test results. The agency says food contaminated with salmonella may not look or smell spoiled, but can still make you sick. If you have the recalled product, throw it out or return it. An Ontario parent is issuing a warning after her 13-year-old daughter was hospitalized after taking part in a dangerous TikTok challenge.
How many pills do you think she took?
So we know for a fact that both her and the friend each took 36 Benadryl tablets.
The trend known as the Benadryl Challenge encourages young people to take large amounts of allergy medication to receive a high and hallucinations. The daughter spent 4 days at the Children's Hospital of Eastern Ontario and has now recovered. According to U.S. media, at least one teenager has died after doing the challenge. Finally, stateside, new technology is being researched that could change how prostate cancer is detected. Artificial intelligence is being used to pinpoint exact areas of concern, which experts say makes the process more accurate and efficient.
We can actually acquire images with half of the time that it used to take us to obtain a routine MRI.
These new AI algorithms being researched also show for a clearer image. And because the scan is shorter, patients are more comfortable and move less during the MRI.
And now we'd like to introduce you to the Maritimers who are marking milestones today. It is a 50th anniversary for Lorna and Bruce Thompson of Sussex, New Brunswick.
Yay to the Thompsons. Congratulations on 50 years.
Happy anniversary.
And now we'd like to introduce you to the Maritimers who are marking milestones on March 14th. It is a 100th birthday for Audrey Cameron of New Glasgow, Nova Scotia. Happy birthday, Audrey.
Happy birthday. And to see your milestone again or to find out how to submit one, you can visit our website by scanning the QR code on your screen. And a reminder, milestones must be received 2 weeks in advance.
And now we're going to give you a little reminder that you get to be part of our show, more metaphorically taking up this third seat by letting us know how you can, what's going on with Friday the 13th. You avoid anything today because it's Friday the 13th? I want to hear from you. Text us at 10400.
Absolutely. All right, now we're going to take a look at our 3-day forecast. A high of 1 degree. We do have a bit of flurry activity for New Brunswick, slowly clearing out, leaving a mix of sun and cloud, but snow and or rain returns across the province into the evening. Saturday, 2 degrees is your daytime high with snow and or rain continuing. And then on Sunday, 4 degrees with a mix of sun and cloud. We do have isolated flurries returning to the central region of the province. Nova Scotia, 2 degrees today with snow and or rain, transitioning over to a mix of sun and cloud as it clears out late this afternoon. On Saturday, 5 degrees with snow and or rain returning. And then on Sunday, 3 degrees with a mix of sun and cloud. For Prince Edward Island, -1 today with snow clearing late into the afternoon, leaving a bit of sunshine. 2 degrees on Saturday with snow and then seeing showers and or flurries into the evening. Sunday, 1 degree with a mix of sun and cloud.
It's Friday, March 13th. Today on Your Morning Atlantic, slick streets. The messy weather this morning has caused some cancellations across the region. Your top news headlines just ahead.
And need a book for March break. Our friend and author Chantal Gurton will be back to share some of her favorite recent reads. And your pile's about to get a little higher. Those stories and more coming up on the Friday edition of Your Morning Atlantic.
Thanks for being with us on this Friday the 13th. And now I'm very excited to hear about those book recommendations. I started the year off so strong. I was reading a ton. And I've really fallen off the last month and a half or so. Well, so I'm excited to add a few books now back.
Yeah, for sure. No, I'm excited to share that, to have that. A lot of people love to read. I've fallen off the reading train. Maybe this is my my
I think
kid.
I haven't read a book since our last CML book club read.
Yeah.
Which was a while ago. So yeah, I'm going to be jotting down these book recommendations.
I want to remind people, too, about the Move Morning Chat.
Yes.
Okay? If you wanted to participate in that, we'll have a nice little roundup at the end of the show. What do you avoid doing because it's Friday the 13th? Text us at 10400. And, yeah, we'd love to hear what you have to say on this.
I'm excited to hear what the answers are. If maybe some people aren't as superstitious, maybe.
Yeah, you can be superstitious. I think maybe just from a safety perspective, you might want to avoid just slipping around outside today if you can.
Absolutely. We are seeing a bit of icy conditions still remaining for parts of the region. So keep this in mind, like Crystal mentioned, if you're out walking about or if you're heading out on an early morning commute. It is colder this morning as well. -7 degrees in Fredericton, -5 in Charlottetown, -4 in Halifax and Yarmouth, -22 degrees in Labrador City, but much warmer into St. John's, Newfoundland at 12 degrees. We do see the wind chill still factoring in across Atlantic Canada, so something to also keep in mind. Layers are key today. We do still have a risk of frostbite over in Labrador City early this morning. A special weather statement in effect for parts of Newfoundland for Saturday evening until Sunday. We also are still seeing a winter storm warning, wind warning, and rainfall warning in effect. For Labrador, looking at a blowing snow advisory this afternoon until Saturday, a winter storm warning and a cold warning. Also seeing that orange level rainfall warning remain for parts of Newfoundland and that orange level snowfall warning and winter storm warning for Labrador. In terms of our satellite and radar, still seeing an icy mixture, especially across parts of Newfoundland. Parts of Cape Breton Island still dealing with a bit of freezing rain early in the morning. We are going to start to see the system clear out of the Maritimes, leaving a mix of sun and cloud for the most part, but still remaining into parts of Newfoundland and Labrador. In terms of the wind, a bit of a breezy day ahead. As of right now, 35 kilometers per hour into Yarmouth and Fredericton, 33 in Halifax and St. John, New Brunswick, as well as into Edmundston. Wind gusts of up to 46 kilometers per hour into Yarmouth, 50 in Edmundston, 54 in Fredericton. We'll take a look at your weekend forecast just ahead. First, a look at your local news with Stephanie.
A 35-year-old man has been charged with first-degree murder in connection with the death of a Moncton woman whose body was found in a garbage bin. Police have charged Devlin O'Blennis with first-degree murder in the death of Melissa Price. Last month, the 39-year-old's remains were discovered in a bin near a walking trail. Investigators determined her death was a homicide. O'Blennis was arrested Wednesday and then charged. He remains in custody and will return to Moncton Court in April. You might want to give yourself some extra time to get to work this morning because it is slick out there. The rain switched over to ice pellets and then snow this morning in the Halifax area. With temperatures hovering around the freezing mark, it's making for some slippery conditions. Salt trucks are out as highways and city streets are now snow covered. We are also now hearing of some school closures in Nova Scotia and Prince Edward Island. For a full list of impacted schools, visit our website, ctvnewsatlantic.ca. A busy blood collection clinic in Halifax will remain closed today following an unexpected closure yesterday. The Bears Road clinic shut down because of what the health authority called water-related issues, but did not provide details beyond telling CTV News they were waiting for a plumber to come to the site. In an email last night, officials confirmed the facility would remain closed today, but patient appointments would be honored at other blood collection sites within the Halifax Regional Municipality, or they'll have the option of rebooking for later. The New Brunswick government is hoping a new $270 million deal will attract more physicians to practice in the province. According to the province, physicians in New Brunswick were among the worst paid in the country. The 4-year deal with the New Brunswick Medical Society will see a contract based off measurable improvements to patient access. Physicians will be rewarded for taking on more patients, seeing them in a timely manner, and working in the new collaborative care models.
There were no hourly pay structures in the fee-for-service. Everything was kept on a for-performance basis, and physicians that will attach more patients and see more patients will see more economic benefit.
Physicians who meet performance goals will receive more money to hire additional staff and address other areas of concern in their practice. Prices at the pumps were up and down depending on where you are in the Maritimes. In Nova Scotia, there was no change to the price of regular self-serve gasoline in the Halifax area. The minimum price remains $1.62 per liter. Diesel actually went down 5.3 cents. The minimum price is now $2.11 per liter. On Prince Edward Island, the price of gas went up 2.9 cents. The minimum price is now $1.69.4 a liter. The price of diesel also increased by 5.2 cents. The minimum price is now $2.19 a liter. And in New Brunswick, the price of gas jumped by 7 cents a liter. The maximum price is now $1.63.3. And diesel actually dropped 3.5 cents. The maximum price is now $2.16.4 a liter. It's looking more and more like trading cards are emerging as a hot commodity for thieves who are getting increasingly brazen in stealing them. Police say a man smashed a display case at a Walmart store in Cole Harbour and grabbed some Pokemon cards. It turns out some of them can be quite valuable.
A lot of the stuff that you find now currently, Walmarts, etc., that's lower end stuff, so $100 and below. But some of the singles cards, especially older ones, are worth millions of dollars.
We had a similar robbery in the 900 block of Cole Harbour Road on February 2nd. In that instance as well, a man had entered the store, smashed a display case, and had stolen a number of trading cards.
It's a problem right across the country. Thieves in BC stole about $30,000 worth of cards from a store in Abbotsford last week.
Ooh, I was going to make a joke, but it's not funny.
No, it's not funny at all. No. Desperate times. Yeah, and dangerous.
Yeah, some of those cards, like they were saying, can go for so much money. Yeah. So now just, it's concerning seeing that trend. I'm sure, collectors are probably watching this as well and maybe being a little more taking some precautions there as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks for bringing us the latest on that, Stephanie. Let's lighten the mood, shall we?
Yes.
This is probably your last chance to enter our Hong Kong contest. We'll be talking about it one more time on the show, and it's now. Indulge in the magic of Hong Kong by entering a chance to win a trip for two, courtesy of the Hong Kong Tourism Board. So the prize includes round-trip flights on Cathay Pacific, 4 luxurious nights at the Park Lane, Hong Kong, $1,000 spending money, and a 3-day pass granting access to more than 20 amazing attractions. Enter online at ctvatlantic.ca or scan that QR code on your screen. Good luck to you. I want you to win. Yeah.
Dream vacation for sure.
Yeah, so cool. All right, well, still to come this half hour, if you're looking for a new book suggestion like I am, or our friend Chantal Gurton has some suggestions. And just after the break, the latest look at the Friday forecast. Here's a live look now at St. John. Stay with us. Your Morning Atlantic will be back in just a few minutes.
Good morning, Atlantic Canada. The time now is 8:11. We're taking a live look at Ingonish. Snow and or rain throughout your day today. Looks like it's snowing currently with -2 degrees in your area. So a bit cooler for other parts of Atlantic Canada early on. We are going to see temperatures rise, but some still remaining below the freezing mark. As of right now, -7 degrees in Fredericton, -5 in Charlottetown, -4 degrees in Halifax, 11 into St. John's, Newfoundland. We do have a special weather statement currently in effect for the eastern and southeastern region of Newfoundland Saturday evening until Sunday, expecting snow and some strong wind gusts. We do have a winter storm warning until tonight for western Newfoundland and the Great Northern Peninsula, a wind warning and rainfall warning. For Labrador, looking at a blowing snow advisory this afternoon until Saturday, a winter storm warning for overnight tonight, and a cold warning early Saturday morning. An orange level rainfall warning remains for parts of Newfoundland and an orange level snowfall warning and winter storm warning for Labrador. Here's a look at our forecast timeline. Starting to see the system clear across New Brunswick, parts of Nova Scotia. Still seeing, though, some snow and mixed precipitation for Newfoundland. Labrador looking at some snowfall early in the morning as well. Into the afternoon, we start to continue to see this clear out, leaving sunshine returning in the Maritimes. And then into this evening, pretty clear skies, increasing cloudiness, though, and we have another low-pressure system right behind this one, bringing snow and or rain back around into our forecast for Saturday. If you're wondering about snowfall totals, looking around 1 to 5 centimeters of accumulation for parts of Prince Edward Island and Nova Scotia. Heavies being into North Mountain at 10 to 15 centimeters. 5 to 10 across parts of Labrador, and then Newfoundland, the heaviest being 30 to 45 centimeters into St. Anthony. For our rainfall outlook, not really seeing any accumulation for Nova Scotia, but looking at around 10 to 20 millimeters of precipitation for parts of Newfoundland. So we do have flurries early in the morning for New Brunswick, already clearing out, leaving sunshine across the province. Daytime highs between -4 to 2 degrees and wind gusts of 50. Prince Edward Island dealing with highs today, -3 to -2. Snow will transition over to flurries before clearing out into the late afternoon, leaving mainly cloudy skies. Wind gusts getting up to 60. For Cape Breton and eastern Nova Scotia, highs will range from -2 to +1 rather. Rain transitions over to snow. And then for the rest of Nova Scotia, daytime highs between -1 to 2 degrees. Flurries clear out, leaving a mix of sun and cloud late into the afternoon. And then for Labrador City, a high of -16 degrees today. Flurries clearing, leaving mainly cloudy skies. 13 degrees for St. John's, Newfoundland, looking at rain and or drizzle with the risk of thunderstorms, transitioning over to flurries into the late afternoon and evening. Saturday's forecast, a bit mild for our daytime highs, but still seeing a wintry mix for parts of all 3 maritime provinces, specifically into parts of Nova Scotia, mainland Nova Scotia, and into the southern region. And then into Saturday night, we are starting to see it break down the system just a bit for parts of Nova Scotia, moving into Newfoundland, bringing snow. And into Sunday's forecast, looking at a chance of flurries for parts of all 3 maritime provinces. A cooler day ahead with snow into much of Newfoundland. That's a look at your weather forecast. We'll flip things over to Stephanie.
Thanks, Latavia. Now to the Middle East and growing concern about oil supplies. Iran is vowing to continue blocking a critical shipping route. And overnight, U.S. President Trump issued a new threat on social media.
Overnight, rescue efforts underway after a refueling plane went down in Iraq. The KC-135 aircraft is part of military operations against Iran, but officials say the crash was not because of hostile or friendly fire. Central Command says 2 aircraft were involved. The other plane landed safely. But 5 crew members were reportedly aboard the plane that crashed. And unlike fighter jets, the 135 is not equipped with parachutes. Meanwhile, Iran's new supreme leader has issued his first public statement through a woman on state TV, vowing Iran will continue targeting global oil supplies by blocking the critical Strait of Hormuz. Just one day after striking oil tankers in the Persian Gulf, the New York Times reports Iran has now started laying more mines in the strait. President Trump earlier this week threatened to hit Iran, quote, 20 times harder if it blocked oil shipments. Any U.S. Navy escorts for ships are likely weeks away. But overnight, a new move from the U.S. Oil prices dropping slightly after the U.S. government issued a temporary license that will allow countries to buy more oil from Russia.
Those barrels are going to end up in China anyway. It is unfortunate, and we hope that it will be in a micro period that they will benefit.
The U.S. and dozens of other countries already announced they're releasing 400 million barrels of oil from emergency reserves. But analysts warn that will likely do little to cool prices.
And overnight, a Russian official bragged about Russia making money off of this war, claiming Moscow is earning $150 million per day since the war began. And he said, quote, this is just the beginning of the largest energy crisis ever. Marcus Moore, ABC News, Doha.
The Canadian military says for security reasons, it won't confirm reports an Iranian missile struck a base in Kuwait where Canadian troops are deployed. Prime Minister Mark Carney is now in Norway, but yesterday he was questioned about the government's silence.
Well, I mean, I'm not the only spokesperson for the government, but I'll just confirm that Canadian forces are, the members of the Canadian forces are all safe and sound. We're not engaged in offensive actions, and we will not be engaged.
Quebec media outlet La Presse reported the strike happened at the airbase in Kuwait shortly after the war began. Days later, fire and smoke were also seen near the airbase, where Canada has an operational hub. NASA says its first crewed mission to the moon in more than half a century is prepared for takeoff next month.
We are on track for a launch as early as April 1st.
4 astronauts, including Canadian Jeremy Hansen, have been waiting to blast off in a rocket that faced issues during launch rehearsals. NASA describes the Artemis II mission as a crewed lunar flyby where astronauts will travel around the moon. Time now for a short break, but still much more to come this hour on Your Morning Atlantic. Stay with us.
Move Mornings with Aaron and Peter. Weekday mornings on Move 100. The most fun in the morning. And home of the $1,000 minute. Only on Move 100 Halifax.
Let's bring into the new season with some fresh books to add to our bookshelves. Joining us now with her suggestions is our friend and author, Chantel Gurton. It's good to see you, Chantel.
Hi, Amanda.
All right, let's start with Definitely Thriving. What is this one about?
Okay, this book comes out actually next Tuesday, although you are starting to see it hit bookshelves already. It's by Carrie Clare. She's a Canadian author, and she is such a funny writer. I saw her speak years ago and thought, she's so funny, I want to be friends with her. And now I am friends with her. So this is a bit of a biased review, but this book is hilarious. It's set in Toronto. It's the story of a woman who sort of blows up her marriage and then is thinking, okay, what next? And it has sort of Bridget Jones's diary vibes, which I love, and feels like a sort of modern retelling of that story. And it's just feels, the characters feel really real, so that you almost feel like these are your neighbors, that you're hearing what is going on with their lives. And I love that kind of writing.
Oh, I love that too. I like the sarcasm in the Definitely Thriving part. This next book, I have seen it everywhere, and it's on my list, and I want to hear what you have to say about it. The Wedding People.
Yes. So The Wedding People, I also saw it on a lot of lists, and so read it over the holidays. And I really loved it because you think it's going to be light, and it is, but the premise is a bit dark. So this woman is, you know, things have not gone well in her life, and she is depressed and goes to this beautiful seaside resort as sort of like her last days. But, you know, she's young. So the stuff in is a bit dark that she goes there. But when she gets there, there is a wedding. The entire resort is rented out for a wedding. So she's the only person there that's not there for a reason, like she shouldn't be there. And the bride is like, what are you doing here? But then she takes her under her wing, and she's like, if you're here, you're going to be part of this wedding. And so then it becomes really this story of, like, you know, meeting strangers in the maybe most unexpected way, and connections with people in life. And it's really funny, but it really feels so touching as well.
Oh, that sounds so good. The next book you have sounds like a good one for fans of Anne Patchett's writing.
Oh, that's such a good, comparison for sure. And so this is called The Correspondent. And it's the story of a woman who is in her 70s, and she spends all of her time writing letters. So the entire book is letters. So for people who have trouble getting into a book, maybe they're distracted or don't have a lot of time, I think this is the perfect read, because you can feel like you can read one page, it's one letter, and you get into it and you're wondering who's she writing all these different letters to, and why does she only correspond in letters? And so then the story of her life unfolds this way, and it's just incredible. It's sort of like a slow, it's a very fast read, but it's like a slow unveiling that keeps you wanting to read what's the next letter and who's she writing it to, and how will we learn more about her life.
Ooh, I like the sounds of that one too. We only have about a minute left, 2 books left to go. The fourth one you have, it's kind of different. If the other titles weren't appealing to you, this one sounds like it could.
Okay, this is Ghostlight by Kenneth Opel. He's a Canadian author. I love this one. I'm reading this at the same time as my husband and my son. So it's a kid book, but I feel like anyone would love this. It's set on Toronto Island, and it's sort of a ghost story. And so I love the real setting of it, and just like, it's really a fun read, especially if you're going on vacation with your kids, if you have kids. And then the last one is The Book Tour. This just came out. This is the Canadian author debut novel, and it's the story of a woman going on a book tour with a really grumpy publicist. So it's like, oh, will they get together or won't they? And it's just a really fun read.
Oh, that sounds so fantastic. Thank you, Chantel. Great suggestions. Happy reading to you.
You too.
Taking a look at our 3-day forecast for the weekend. Today in New Brunswick, a high of 1 degree. We do have flurries starting off the day, already clearing out, leaving a mix of sun and cloud. We do have snow and or rain into the evening. That continues in the forecast for Saturday with a high of 2 degrees. 4 degrees on Sunday, looking at a mix of sun and cloud for much of the province. We do have a bit of isolated flurries for the central region. Nova Scotia, a high of 2 degrees today, snow and or rain, clearing late into the afternoon, leaving a mix of sun and cloud. Saturday, 5 degrees with snow and or rain moving back in. And on Sunday, 3 degrees with a mix of sun and cloud. For Prince Edward Island, -1, snow clears out, leaving a mix of sun and cloud. And then on Saturday, 2 degrees with snow moving in, and then transitions over to showers and or flurries into the evening. Sunday, sunshine returns with a high of 1.
Still to come this morning, we're getting crafty just in time for St. Patrick's Day. East Coast Mommy's Gina Bell will share some of her always creative and inexpensive ideas that you can make this weekend. That's just ahead on Your Morning Atlantic.
Good morning, Atlantic Canada. The time now is 8:29. We have half an hour left of the show. It has flown by.
Sure has.
Right? And it's Friday.
Yay! Happy start to the weekend, everybody watching right now. Yippee-doo.
Always something to celebrate.
Yeah.
Yes.
Your boys are a little young for crafts, probably too.
Their crafts is spilling milk all over my house, which is so gross.
We'll add some green dye and suddenly it's St. Patrick's Day.
There you go. So much fun. Oh my gosh.
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, it's a good, like if you do want to go pick up some craft supplies and do some St. Patrick's Day crafts, you know, we've got that coming up this half hour, but maybe not a bad thing to do today. It's not that great outside to be out and about.
Absolutely. And into Saturday's forecast too, snow and or rain, so perfect day to stay indoors and do crafts.
Yeah.
If that's your kind of thing. We are going to see temperatures be quite cold early this morning. Here's a live look at Baccarel Point. As of right now, -5 degrees heading outdoors, a very cloudy start to your day. We are going to see temperatures rise just a bit, still remaining below the freezing mark for parts of the region at least. But it is cold this morning, so make sure to layer up before heading out. -7 degrees in Fredericton, -5 in Charlottetown and in Halifax, -1 in Sydney, and much warmer into St. John's, Newfoundland at 11 degrees. We do have the wind chill factoring in early this morning, so it is feeling even colder. But as I mentioned, temperatures will warm up there, but there is that risk of frostbite over in Labrador City this morning. In terms of the watches and warnings, still many remain for Newfoundland and Labrador. We do have a special weather statement in effect for Saturday evening until Sunday, a winter storm warning with a wind warning and rainfall warning. And then for Labrador, a blowing snow advisory this afternoon until Saturday, a winter storm warning, and a cold warning for early Saturday morning. An orange level rainfall warning currently in effect for parts of Newfoundland, and a snowfall warning and winter storm warning as well for parts of Labrador. So we're still dealing with this wintry mix for this system for much of the region. Starting to clear out of the Maritimes, though. We will be seeing sunshine into the late afternoon, but Newfoundland going to see this icy mixture remain throughout much of the day today. In terms of the wind for the Maritime region, as of right now, 43 kilometers per hour in Edmundston, 31 in Yarmouth, 33 in Lunenburg. Wind gusts getting up to 65 kilometers per hour in Edmundston, 59 in Bathurst with 50 into Yarmouth. We'll take one last look at your long-range forecast, but first, one last look at your local news with Stephanie.
Thanks, Latavia. A 35-year-old man has been charged with first-degree murder in connection with the death of a Moncton woman whose body was found in a garbage bin. Police have charged Devlin O'Blennis with first-degree murder in the death of Melissa Price. Last month, the 39-year-old's remains were discovered in a bin near a walking trail. Investigators determined her death was a homicide. O'Blennis was arrested Wednesday and then charged. He remains in custody and will return to Moncton Court in April. A longtime Nova Scotia MLA says for the first time in her political career, she no longer feels safe doing her job. Queen's MLA Kim Masland, who's also the Minister of Natural Resources and Emergency Management, says everything changed when a stranger showed up at her Liverpool home one night while she was in Halifax after a busy day at the legislature. RCMP arrested the man, but Masland admits she was scared.
I panicked, I was scared, I was thinking, oh my gosh, I am 100 kilometers away and someone's trying to break into my home, my safe place.
When crime occurs, it doesn't just hurt the individual involved, it hurts the community and has far-reaching consequences.
The Premier hasn't ruled out increasing security for MLAs. Meanwhile, RCMP have charged a Liverpool man with trespassing. He'll appear in court at a later date. You might want to give yourself some extra time to get to work this morning. As we've heard from Latavia, it is slick out there. The rain switched over to ice pellets and then snow this morning in the Halifax area. With temperatures hovering around the freezing mark, it's making for some slippery conditions. Salt trucks are out as highways and city streets are now covered in snow. We are also now hearing of some school closures in Nova Scotia and Prince Edward Island. For a full list of impacted schools, visit our website, ctvnewsatlantic.ca. Meanwhile, recent temperature fluctuations have made for treacherous conditions on the region's lakes and rivers. There have been incidents of people going through thin ice, which has prompted a warning.
Well, there's no such thing as safe ice right now with all the variables in temperature and wind and melting. The ice is old. Old ice is not safe ice.
The Life Saving Society says rescues are often needed this time of year. Earlier this week, 2 men in their 70s went into the water while ice fishing on Belle Isle, Nova Scotia. One body has been recovered, and police say the search for the other man continues. Nova Scotia RCMP are advising people to stay off lakes and rivers. Prices at the pumps were up and down depending on where you are in the Maritimes as the conflict in the Middle East continues. Starting in Nova Scotia, there was no change to the price of regular self-serve gasoline in the Halifax area. The minimum price remains at $1.62 per liter. Diesel actually went down 5.3 cents. The minimum price is now $2.11 per liter. On Prince Edward Island, the price of gas went up 2.9 cents. The minimum price is now $1.69.4 a liter. The price of diesel also increased by 5.2 cents. The minimum price is now $2.19 a liter. And in New Brunswick, the price of gas jumped by 7 cents a liter. The maximum price is now $1.63.3. And diesel actually dropped 3.5 cents. The maximum price is now $2.16.4 a liter. The graveyard of the Atlantic is offering up secrets. Parks Canada archaeologists working on Sable Island have unearthed remnants of a shipwreck that shed light on a war centuries ago. Over the course of 2 weeks, they excavated and documented several shipwrecks on the island, finding a remarkably well-preserved one. While the dig happened last May, it has taken many months to examine all of the evidence.
The Barbados is thought to have been accompanying 3 other ships that were traveling from Bermuda up to Newfoundland in 1812. And out of the 4 ships, 3 of them all ran aground on Sable Island.
We've been able to identify the wood species as Bermuda cedar, which leads us to believe that it might have been a Bermuda sloop, in which case this might be the most intact archaeological example of a Bermuda sloop known currently.
There is still a lot of research to do with what was gathered. They will also be looking into the historical records to try to learn more about the sloop. And it's interesting, too, with Sable Island because it changes so much with the wind and the sand moves around with all the different shipwrecks that have happened there. You know, sometimes they're buried for hundreds of years like this one. So interesting. And then eventually they come to the surface.
Yeah, quite a find.
Yeah, very cool.
Love that. Okay, let's move on to something you're not going to expect.
Okay.
Traditional reindeer racing. It's taking place in Finland, and it always draws a crowd. Look at it go! These are reindeer games, serious reindeer games. They raising and caring for reindeers has long been a part of the Scandinavian culture, especially for Indigenous people. So reindeer racing is an organized and regulated competition. This year, the winner of the races was a reindeer named Pom Pom. Now his owner says he's exceptionally fast and smart, great qualities for the race. Look at them go.
Like, this is how you know they get Santa around the world so fast.
Exactly. Yeah, we knew reindeer could fly, but to really see them move so quickly on land.
Exactly.
They can really move.
Santa might need to add Pom Pom to his...
Clearly.
Exactly.
Upgrade his roster.
Rudolph, you know, has a cold. Pom Pom can definitely lead the team. All right, so that did happen in Finland. And we have the video to prove it. What else is going on, Latavia?
We'll take a look at the community calendar. So, laugh out loud chaos when mishap takes the stage in St. John. The play that goes wrong delivers nonstop comedy at the Imperial Theater. Wednesday, March 18th at 7:30 p.m. Be prepared for an evening that will leave you in stitches. For tickets, head over to their website. And a trivia night is being held this weekend at the Emerald Community Center in PEI. There will be prizes, snapper questions, food and drink available for purchase. Proceeds raised helps 6 local youth bowlers attend the Canadian Youth Challenge. To register your team, we'll send an email to the email address below. And a vocalist and a violinist, Charles Yang, and pianist Peter Dugan will take the stage and perform Saturday, March 14th at Stage St. Andrews. It's a perfect blend of classical and electric violin. Will make for an incredible night of music. To purchase tickets, head over to the website on your screen. And if you do have an upcoming event, send us the details. We'd love to promote it. Your Morning Atlantic at ctv.ca.
Fantastic.
All right, it's time for one more break on this Friday, but Latavia will have one final look at the full forecast, and then we're getting crafty for St. Patrick's Day. East Coast Mommy's Gina Bell will share easy and fun ideas you can make with the kids this weekend. Stay with us. Your Morning Atlantic will be right back.
Good morning, Atlantic Canada, and welcome back. The time now is 8:41. Taking a live look at Charlottetown, -5 degrees starting off your day. You can see roads are a bit slick, so keep that in mind when you are heading out. We're still seeing snowfall in your area. It is cool across the region early this morning. -7 degrees in Fredericton, a -5 in Halifax, -1 starting off your day in Sydney, -22 degrees in Labrador City, and 11 into St. John's, Newfoundland. A special weather statement remains for Saturday evening until Sunday. For the eastern and southeastern region of Newfoundland, we're expecting snow and some strong wind gusts, as well as a winter storm warning until tonight, wind warning overnight tonight, and a rainfall warning until this afternoon. We also have a blowing snow advisory into Labrador for this afternoon until Saturday, a winter storm warning for overnight tonight, and a cold warning in effect for early Saturday morning. An orange level rainfall warning until this afternoon for Labrador, Newfoundland rather, and then into Labrador, an orange level snowfall warning and winter storm warning as well. So we are starting to see the system clear out of parts of the Maritime region, still dealing with snow though for parts of Prince Edward Island and Nova Scotia. Mixed precipitation still remains for parts of Newfoundland and Labrador, looking at some snowfall this morning. Into the afternoon, much of the same, but into the evening, we see the system clear out of all three Maritime provinces. Increasing cloudiness and temperatures dropping down, but we do have another low pressure system moving in, bringing snow and or rain back around into our forecast for Saturday. If you're wondering about snowfall totals, looking at around 1 to 5 centimeters of accumulation for parts of Prince Edward Island and Nova Scotia. Heavies being into North Mountain at 10 to 15 centimeters. And then for Labrador, 5 to 10 centimeters of accumulation. Heavies being for Newfoundland at around 30 to 45 centimeters for St. Anthony. In terms of our rainfall outlook, not really seeing any accumulation for parts of Nova Scotia, but for Newfoundland, looking at around 10 to 20 millimeters. For our forecast today for New Brunswick, flurries clear, leaving a mix of sun and cloud across the province. Highs will range from -4 to 2 degrees and wind gusts of 50. Prince Edward Island looking at snow that will transition over to flurries, then clear out late into the afternoon, leaving mainly cloudy skies. Highs between -3 to -2. And then for Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, rain with a risk of freezing rain transitions over to snow. Daytime highs between -2 to 1, wind gusts of 60. For the rest of Nova Scotia, flurries clear as well, leaving a mix of sun and cloud late this afternoon. Daytime highs between -1 to 2 degrees. For Labrador City, -16 degrees is your daytime high. Flurries clear out, leaving mainly cloudy skies, a high of 13 degrees in St. John's, Newfoundland. Rain and or drizzle with a risk of thunderstorms and then transitions over to flurries. Saturday's forecast, snow and or rain for the Maritime region. We will be seeing mixed precipitation across parts of Nova Scotia. Mild daytime highs, though. Labrador seeing sunshine, Newfoundland a bit of a cloudier day ahead. And then into Saturday night, this system starts to clear out a bit from Nova Scotia, but we do have snow moving into Newfoundland. And then on Sunday's forecast, rather, we are going to see flurry activity for the Maritime region and looking at snow across much of Newfoundland. Crystal.
It's almost 8:45. Now, there are only 4 days left until St. Patrick's Day, but there is still plenty of time to add a little luck of the Irish to your home. Content creator Gina Bell of East Coast Mommy is here to help us make our green, crafty dreams come true. Hi, Gina. Nice to see you again.
Hi, nice to see you too.
You always have such great ideas, and I love how everything's so accessible. So where do you want to begin?
Well, one of the things that I like to do for St. Patrick's Day is a little bit of decor. And I like to have, I have this pencil tree that I decorate for different occasions in my house. And I like to decorate it for St. Patrick's Day. And I like to make some crafty ornaments to put on it.
Ooh, do tell us more.
So one of the ornaments that I make is I take the little Jenga blocks from the dollar store and use some hot glue to put them together, paint it green, and use some vinyl or stickers or paint to turn it into a little hat a little leprechaun hat that we can hang on the tree.
That's a fun way to repurpose those tiles. It's a great idea.
Yeah. Another one is this little leprechaun hat made of yarn. This one is really fun for older kids or adults, like a girls' night. You just take a little paper towel ring and take little bits of yarn, wrap them around, and just do it until you get all the way around. Tie a little pom-pom, stuff it with some cotton, and you have this. If you want to take it to another level, you can turn it into a little leprechaun gnome by making your own pom-pom, which is really easy. I have some tutorials on my blog and on YouTube, and add a little pom-pom nose. And this is a really cute one. I find if you use things like yarn, like wrapped around cardboard, yarn seems more of an older material. There's also these little wooden ornaments that you can buy at the dollar store, turn it into a little lucky charm. I used a cricket decal, but you can use paint or stickers, add some beads. That's a cute little ornament. And if you have little kids that this is too complicated for, just take cardstock and make little shamrocks, have them decorated, put a little hole in the top and add a little string, and you can use that to decorate your tree.
Yeah, super fun. Put them all on a string in the front window or something like that. Yeah, great idea.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk food. I see you have some delicious treats in front of you.
Yes, well, I have 3 boys, so food was always a big thing in the house. One of the things that is fun for St. Patrick's Day are these chocolate gold coins. I'm sure we've all seen these. They're like $1.25 for a big string of them. I have these little cards on my blog that say, "Have a lucky day." You can print them off like a regular 4x6 photo, cut a little slit in it, and insert one of the little gold coins. And this is like a cute little party favor. You can pass it out to friends in your class, or you can just have them at home.
Yeah, put them, they have a little St. Patrick's Day meal and put those on the as the cards for the table. That's really fun, high impact too. Okay, let's keep going.
Another fun thing is in my house, we don't have a lot of sugary cereals, even though my kids probably would like to have them every day. But on St. Patrick's Day, we always had Fruit Loops and Lucky Charms. Fruit Loops are the rainbow of St. Patrick's Day, and Lucky Charms are self-explanatory.
Yeah, they're magically delicious. We know this.
Yes, magically delicious. So for breakfast, you can get a little bowl, fill it with Fruit Loops, and add a little tag that you can download on my blog that says rainbow seeds. And so that's a fun, easy little breakfast. Another fun thing to do with the Fruit Loops is to string them onto a piece of yarn, and you can make a Fruit Loop necklace. For little kids, you can even use pipe cleaners because it's easier to string through. Another thing that you can do with Fruit Loops is you can make a fun little straw, rainbow straw, add it to a drink. You can add some green food coloring too if you wanted to do that, and that's really fun. One thing that we always did when my kids were little was set a trap to try and catch a leprechaun.
Ooh.
So I have these on my blog too. They're little tags that say leprechaun bait. You can use them with Fruit Loops, or you can use them with Lucky Charms, and you use it as bait to try and catch a leprechaun. You build a trap. In the morning, sometimes they're really tricky. They escape, but they often leave the little gold coins behind.
That's nice. They take the treat, but they leave something. Now, how many leprechauns have you actually caught since you did this with your children?
I have not caught a leprechaun, but we built a lot of traps and we got a lot of chocolate.
Well, that's worth it. Okay, finally, the last thing, you did something with Skittles. Now, I actually quite enjoy eating Skittles, so I'm curious how I could incorporate that into my celebration.
This is a really fun one. It's actually something, too, that the leprechaun could leave behind if he escaped the trap. It's a fun little activity. So they are rainbow seeds. I have this little tag, too. You can put the Skittles in a little cellophane bag from the dollar store. And all you need to do is take the Skittles, place them around the outside of a white plate, and then pour warm water into the middle. And the dye from the Skittles will absorb and travel into the middle, and the kids can create their own rainbow.
That's fun. Almost science-y, too. All right, well, Gina, great ideas for all ages. We really appreciate it. And we'll put a link to your blog on ours so that people can find all the things you mentioned. Thank you again.
Perfect. Thank you, and happy St. Patrick's Day.
Happy St. Patrick's Day to you. It's 8:51. We'll take a little break and be back to wrap up the show right after this.
The #1 morning show in Halifax. Turk, Megan, and Amateur Alex. And home to the biggest artists. Halifax's #1 hit music station. 101.3 Virgin Radio.
Welcome back on this Friday morning, and it's time to check in with our question of the day. And we wanted to know if there's anything you avoid for Friday the 13th. And we heard lots of great responses from people across the region, including Mo from Bathurst, who said for him, he doesn't avoid anything. It's just another day, just like your birthday. Age is just a number.
Fair, Mo.
And then we did hear from Marina in Halifax, who it actually is her birthday.
Yay, Marina!
And she says she is not superstitious.
That's fair.
There we go.
We also heard from LJ in Middleton, who says, my husband was born on a Friday the 13th. We consider it a lucky day and nothing to avoid, just another day.
Love it.
Lisa in Eastern Passage says 13 is a lucky number for Italians, so today is great.
I love that.
Celebrate.
Yeah.
And Maddie in Newfoundland says the thing I'm trying to avoid today is irritating my girlfriend, which
Fair. Be careful, Maddie.
Nothing to do with Friday the 13th.
No, but this question was, what are you avoiding today? So he interpreted his own way, and
Maybe
Maddie,
he thinks it's unlucky.
Yes.
Maddie knew to weigh in today. So thank you for that, and wise words.
Yes.
Wise
Thank you
words.
for all those responses.
Oh, we have time for the last one. Well, this is fun, and I think you guys are going to like this. Now, wait a minute, y'all. This story is not for everybody.
Okay.
Only the sexy people.
Oh.
Yeah, it's also for any millennials and Gen Xers out there, because Salt and Pepper. If you're like me, every time I hear this song, or rather, every time I think of Salt and Pepper, I think of this song. Do you guys think of it? No?
You know what I think of? Something Borrowed. Have you seen that movie?
Okay.
Kate Hudson, and then they break out in their dance. Yeah, that's what it reminds me of.
Well, in any case,
they're not going to eat that food, that's for sure.
No, it's very hard. Like when somebody asks for the salt and pepper, it's very hard for me not to break into that. Yeah. By the way, salt and pepper does make food so much tastier. Thank you, salt and pepper. All right, have a great weekend, everybody. Thank you, Stephanie, for today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, Monday, Amanda won't be here. I think we're going to have Callum, who'll be sitting in the news desk. But we're going to be talking about fraud prevention, as March is Fraud Prevention Month. And we'll be talking specifically about investment scams.
And we'll also tell you about Aprons in Action. It is a fun new fundraiser supporting Diabetes Canada.
And we'll launch this month's Kent Big Bucket giveaway.
Woo! I know what it is. It's a good one. Okay, join us Monday, but in the meantime, have a great weekend, everybody.